Ladies and gentlemen, model builder creatives out there, welcome to the original Mecha contest live stream number 2. My name is Brian. People call me the Bro Builder. You can call me Hey You. I answer to just about everything. But with me today to start is a good friend of the community, wise sage, knower of things.
I'm a wielder
of brushes.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are.
Exactly. It's going to end up kind of being that way once John joins us. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so welcome to the show. Look at that pretty cool Playmo. Yeah, absolutely. We were getting on respective beverages.
I'm not wearing my purple one on purpose.
Yeah, Pabs, suck it. No, just kidding. Oh, excellent. I'll start off with saying hi to some of the people that are already out there in the chat. Manny McD is always there right away. What's up, Manny? Salty Robot, Johnny 5, what's up, baby? How you doing? Proprietor of the Cerulean Project. If you guys are familiar or unfamiliar with that, please check him out. Always good stuff. He was a guest. Yeah, he was a guest on episode 17 of the Built Sideways podcast. Speaking of the Built Sideways podcast, Mr. Chris Pabs and Julio Ponte out there as well. Mick, how you doing, Mick?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, exactly. Good to see you, Mick. Good moderator for the group. And Black Lotus, how you doing? A few more people obviously will be Kevin. What's up, Kevin? Monty, Scratch Building. Everybody loves the Scratch Builder. Speaking of Scratch Building, the competition this year is looking amazing. Participation is out of this world. I love to see all of the stuff I scrolled through a little bit earlier today to kind of catch up on some shit, and we'll go through more of it here later, but wow.
Right on.
Yeah.
Hello from the Netherlands.
Yep. And Peter Folty. What's good? Yes, of course. Hey, Paul, down in Florida. What's going on? Wow, what is going on?
It's weird. It's not my chat. Like, I don't know where these guys are. I mean, I know where a couple of you are.
Oh, yeah.
When I do my streams, I'm like, oh, hey, but it's your show. It's a bright show.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, true. Very true. Yeah. Well, no, Paul also is my my co-host for the workbench. So
Paul. Okay, sweet. What's up, Paul?
Paul's been with
There's
me.
There's a lot of Pauls in the world. A lot of Matts, a lot of Steves, a lot of Mikes.
Yeah.
There's only one Pabsy, though.
I know. There is one only Pabs. One and only. One and only Clippin' Nubs.
That too.
There are a few Julios though, so you got to watch.
They got like halfway through the mold with Julio, and they said, "Fuck it, we ain't gonna keep going. We're just done. We're just over."
Hey, half a mold is more than enough when it comes to Julio. Right. The guy, he's extra exceptional. Oh, Kyle, Coolest Gunpla, also another host, co-host of the Built Sideways podcast. Doing good. How you guys doing? Good gravy. It has been a wild year so far, and yeah.
Can we just not have a wild year? Can we just have like a chill? Yeah. Like it's just 2023. You better be just like nothing happening. Like nothing happens in 2023.
Right. No, it would be wonderful. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Too early for that, Julio.
Not for Julio. He's like, early, I've been up. Elden Ring. Speaking of being up, I've been working on some models, been having a good time doing it. I have not yet started on my original Mecha contest build that I'll be building alongside with all you guys out there. Not competing, but just building for the fun of it and having some fun. I'm going to be doing something crazy, so I need outside space, which I don't have yet. It's still 30 degrees right now. So, yeah, you know me. I'm crazy. So, and I'm going to buy a welder. Yeah, man. Oddly enough, I've been having the itch, man. Was 15, 16 years as a metalworker, and 2 years out, I'm like, gosh, I wouldn't mind having a TIG welder. That'd be nice.
Nice.
Put some small things together. I like making small welds. Oh boy, so much fun.
At least you won't have joint issues, right?
Well, yeah, I guess. For sure. And yeah, good stuff. But I don't even know where to go.
Yeah, I think we went down the wrong hole in that. No pun intended.
Julio started it.
Yeah.
With the whole puns.
Yeah.
Just okay. So yeah, getting back into the stuff that's been posting. Y'all have been doing great with your participation on the community page on Facebook. It's awesome. Super supportive, very creative, posting all the right stuff. Our admins have been doing, moderators or whatever have been doing fucking great, just keeping everything on the level and making sure that things get responded to or things get brought to attention, and so it's amazing. This is a pretty cool thing, and this is my first year like participating on this end of the scene, and it's really cool to have that other look at everything and see how all you guys and gals and everyone are like in a way working together and like working with each other to get shit done, and that's cool to me. That's like it gives me a big warm fuzzy feeling, and those are good things. We need those things. What's this podcast? Pabs, shush your butts. All right.
Radio.
Oh, yeah. He's got a face for radio. Was bound to happen.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I'm over here just like
love.
Lightly scrolling through and seeing the work, and I love to see when new people join in. There's so many people that are so quick on their builds. Like I used to build really, really fast. I don't have as much time and or energy now. I'm getting old.
I'm slow.
And yeah, so now I relish. I take my time. I sit back and
on my desk.
I hope not. But I've been taking time and adding and doing more with oils, and watching some of your live streams, Mike, has been very beneficial for my advancing my oil painting.
Love the oils.
Yeah. I first learned about oils in college, but never thought about using them on models. Like I thought about enamel pin wash until I got your books. The
promo.
Yeah, promo. Yeah, single models. Yeah, the single model books. Yeah, super
That's
good.
good.
Super duper good. Valuable. Super duper valuable.
That's that little jinglery right there.
Yes, it is. Oh yeah, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, man.
Yeah, repainted the dome.
Yep. I still haven't been able to get the ammonia Windex wash to work.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't do that very much anymore, because that's really based around the acrylic lacquer conversation with Tamiya and Goodsey. And since I'm basically water-based organic paints now, I totally ditched it. Even though I did it for a little while. And of course, the hairspray chipping you can use with any paints, but that ammonia is really specific to the lacquer process. So
gotcha. That's probably why I haven't had it.
Just a chemical sand is all it is,
Yes,
as you know.
I'm sure that's why I haven't had any luck with it, because I too am using only acrylics. So
that, and also another thing I found out with it is, if you buy like a main brand in the store, like in the US, there's not a lot of ammonia anymore used. You actually have to go to like a generic brand that has a much higher content of ammonia to get kind of the results out of it too, by the way.
That's the joys of spending all that time I spent in Brooklyn with all the discount stores around. Everything is a generic brand. It's like the generic brands
to hit all that stuff
brands.
up. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I bought Windex. I'm like, this shit, like, it doesn't work.
It's not cutting.
And then I went and bought another bottle of the cheap shit, and I'm like, it worked perfectly. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Some paints are a little bit lighter too and will work that way. This one does pretty good. Just to kind of like sideline, talk about paint for half a second. Bloodlines from Tim Gore and Createx. This particular white, Old Bone white, and this one will leave fingerprints. You can leave fingerprints in it like several days later. It's erasable up to like 72 hours. You can actually erase it with an eraser. It's kind of like an ink, like a hybrid almost ink paint combo, but it's not.
And that's what Createx is for, really, is those airbrush artists and the ink artists and that do a lot of, they'll draw like faces and people on 2D flat, and then they'll race out stuff, or they'll do like a gas tank for motorcycles. It's all for those guys. It's all that stuff.
Yeah, man.
Big market.
Yeah, that's the stuff that I used to study when I first started learning about airbrushing back in the 90s was those things. And Soriyama, everybody loves Soriyama.
Oh yeah,
that guy. Yeah, stellar. But speaking of Soriyama and mechas, I've been seeing in the feed. Actually, I'll just pull the feed up right now. I just have to do it. is a
I'm
lot
not
of.
getting any younger, so I must be getting old, right?
I'm
not going backwards. It's not Benjamin Button, so I am definitely getting old. It is
Getting
technically
old?
true.
Oh yeah. No. All right. I know where Planeries is coming from though. Got a couple
I
years.
hear you.
Yeah.
Some days
All
you
right.
feel it. Maybe it was a whiskey last night. It just went in the time change and all that. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. No. I definitely feel the the whiskey all the time. Yeah. So just going through some of these builds here, like here's a very new start, but I love the addition of the automobile down here, the little car, diecast car down there,
yeah, nice.
to give you like a sense of scale. I think that's kind of fun to start there. Just seeing the variety in the builds.
Yeah, that's like a sketch, usually fully blocking it in.
Yeah, exactly. Starting like from the basics. And I do that a lot with my stuff too. I'll deal with like a feeling or a movement, and I'll try and build from that. This build right here is incredible with all the amount of greebles and really thinking outside of the form, and really creating things out of like just everything. And I love when builders do that. When you guys are out there working on that stuff, that's fabulous. All the little like styrene nubs and bits and bobs added to this piece. This is a really nice one. Good stuff. Complicated builds are fun, but at the same time, they don't have to be, psycho complicated. There is one that is almost, let's see, I'm gonna go down, guys. Hang on a second. We're gonna jump all over the place. Please don't get mad at me.
This is
here we go. This one,
because the timing of it is I left Facebook actually.
Yeah.
So I never see these.
Oh,
this is all new to me.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm not on Facebook anymore. I bailed.
Gotcha. Well,
I had 4 accounts between Instagram and Facebook, and I told the story a while back on my end, but yeah, I just put it. It's all on my Instagram now, so I don't see the Facebook feeds. And I mean, I could go and look. I just don't participate.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, this
sculpted?
I saw recently. Yes, this is all sculpted.
Damn.
Yeah. Right. Attention to detail. You can see he's probably using
symmetry too, and all that.
Yeah, great symmetry. Good balance. Design is exceptional. I think that's probably like an epoxy sculpt more so than it is like a clay. Or do you think that? No, that's just plasticine.
Yeah, I think that's just like straight up sculpting clay.
Yeah, like an oil
an
clay.
Artist and familiar with it, so.
Oh yeah, or yeah, maybe it's like me. I probably have like 30.
And he has to figure out the pose as he goes. That's insane. Because you're not moving that.
You can oh no, not at all. Yeah, exactly. It has to be balanced, but you can see the foil base inside with the wire armature. Right. I don't know if it's the aluminum armature wire or if it's just a
probably
shit. You can use a paper clip for that stuff if you really wanted to, guys. It's what I did back in the day.
Looks like maybe a little bigger than 1/144. It's probably like a high grade size.
Really, I think it's more like might be more master grade size.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe he's got big hands.
I was gonna say that's some pretty small hands. if they're, I don't think they're very. Yeah, I don't know. I got pretty big hands, so everything to me seems small.
Like 7'2" though, dude. So what else?
No, I'm 6'4". I'm not 7'2". But yeah, just seeing the variety of different things. Like there's some wild creativity in styles of builds and things that are like in process. Don't rush to try and finish your build unless you're going to try and build 2, because you got.
No, I don't think you're procrastinating, Peter. Because I think Peter, what are we in March and this thing goes to October, November? Yeah, I think you're good.
Exactly. The second year I participated, I didn't start my build until into September. So that was with the Mozuko, the big samurai demon guy. Yeah, so I didn't start until, because my schedule was booked. I was doing stuff with Bandai and crap then and all that stuff. It was wild, or Bluefin for that matter. But yeah. So don't worry about the timeline. You guys got time. Like it's cool, and I mean, if you want to work fast and hammer it out and then just sit back and watch, that's great too. Here's some more of
just get the
Peter's. Yeah,
get the feels.
Totally. And I love to see all the proper formatting. You guys are posting like the whip photos with the banners in the background. This is fun. This kind of reminds me a little bit of like Luca's sort of style in a way. Really cobbling different parts together and then filling in gaps and like really just creating something out of a bunch of other somethings. or nothing, you know, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always impressive to see that too. Again, the same issues where you got symmetry, you got multiple lefts, you know, all that kind of stuff, and then you've got the pose that you're trying to dictate as well. Looks like he's got some joints going on.
Yeah, it does definitely. Looks like there's some ball jointing. I don't know if that looks like is that a custom?
Yeah.
Socket?
Yeah,
kind of looks like
he
it.
sculpted that too.
I mean, I've been there, brother.
Right?
You know,
Modify everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
One modification leads to another.
Right. Fun stuff like this here. What, some IBO stuff? No, what is this?
Watch gears. He's got, you know, plastic bits inside there.
Yeah.
Gears and stuff.
This is fun. The
Just
dirty
making
fingernail.
machines.
Yeah, dude, yes, exactly. That's the thing. Oh god, it's so great.
Getting early Terminator vibes.
Yeah, right.
That early ectoskeleton kind of look.
Here's some more figurative style. Looks like that's all scratch built out. Is that styrene or is that like a warbler?
Maybe
interesting.
Styrene, maybe shape styrene.
It could be, or like thermoplastic. It could be like
cut up. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but those are serious, like some serious bends. That's fun. I love this. Like the whole organic vibe on that. The layer.
It might be epoxy though. He might have rolled that out and laid that down over stuff too. Combination of things.
Maybe. I don't know. Here it's like rigid, so this is definitely stock. But looks like there's some putty in the center of that too. Cool. Yeah, maybe, man. I don't know. That's wild. Oh, wow. Once again, man, I'm
maybe, awesome.
Constantly caught up on all the cool that is going down in the community and with the builds. Oh, Lego. I love seeing Lego. Use Lego.
Yeah, I'm expecting quite a bit of that for the frames and from the inners.
Yeah, it's
proportions and all that stuff.
I didn't actually start using styrene building blocks in my stuff until, you know, within the last like probably couple of years. Oh, here's the excellent. This is from, you know, the buildup of
that's the trophy, right?
Trophy. Yeah, the trophy buildup with a bunch of greeblies added onto it and everything. Really, really fun. Yeah. So good.
I'm waiting for one of you guys to take that trophy and then build the rest of it out.
Right. Build up the whole
mech.
You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do the whole thing.
I am into it. This is an interesting take on the format. Definitely has a little bit of oh, here we go.
Kind of more of a found object type look.
Yeah.
Is that a hardware store stuff? Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah, I can't quite tell.
Like
that kind of looks like a plastic.
A bunch of stuff out. Yeah, like a latch or something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's like a part of a die-cast vehicle. Interesting. Oh shit. There we go. Well, there you go. That's righteous.
Yeah, I'm gonna give mad props for the first word of the contest of originality. I think that's what I'm really keen on is originality with this show.
Oh yes.
You know,
absolutely.
Push these guys.
Yeah, I love this. This is just made out of everything. That's a Sazabi.
Yeah, right, little shoulder there. Yeah,
right there.
Looks like
I love
Titus shoulder.
Yeah, Titus shoulder here. Yeah. Hell yeah, bro. What do we got done here? This looks like an elbow from something, but it also looks like the head of something. Wild. Cool. Those look like some iron-blooded orphan parts in there. Armor off the shit. I have a million of them. Goosians. The frog Goosian. Maybe. Cool stuff though. Like, yeah, exactly. The original, the push on the original end of it, and like just, you know, yeah.
That's what I'm keen on.
Creativity. This is fun. Look at that spine. Can I zoom in?
That's all styrene, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love this angle. The angle right here of this hip. And the way that comes together, I think those parts, might be Kodo parts. The lower parts, like, are cobbled out of it. Maybe not, though. That does just look like styrene with like a ball just sandwiched in it.
Almost look like some sort of kitchen or something out of something you find.
Well, I'm thinking like
maybe
looking
a
at the way
of something or whatever. Can't tell.
I really think that's scratch built, bro. Like so. and then the ball is actually maybe movable.
It's got the little armature up all through the whole thing.
Yeah, that's creative. Good stuff.
What's up, Patty Cakes?
Keep going.
I see
yeah,
you.
I'm not. I'm
I
just
see you.
knee deep in the searching through the Facebook. I'm not paying attention to the chat.
I
Salty
haven't seen a lot
Robot.
of this. This is all new to me. I haven't seen much of this, so.
Oh,
it's good to
cool.
watch.
So that's good. Yeah. Salty Road's the vision some people have is so impressive, and I agree absolutely. It's been amazing. Yes. Oh yeah. Hey, Patty Cakes. What's up, man? What up, man? Pabs. All right. I'm gonna go back into it. We're gonna keep scrolling.
Keep scrolling.
Take a look. Here we go. Yes, this is absolutely a good thing to do. The little pinhead, little round head pin sewing needles. You can clip those off. Use those as. I know that.
Dome rivets. Yeah.
Yeah, like Jordan. What is his modeler name? I can't remember because I get to know people and then I forget what their handle is.
Sure.
Yeah, he's the guy that always builds. He's won some GBWCs and at least local end of it, and he always combines trains with his mecha and uses a lot of rivets, and he does these like tiny little embroidery beads that he uses for that. Yeah, and then does a little spoon and sets it in, and cool stuff. Well, this one has been very impressive to watch. This is AB Cruz's the full scratch build pilot.
Literally full scratch build.
Yeah. The pilots. There's
carving it out of styrene.
Almost literally. Here you go. This is another
and grinding it out.
Another set of images from. That's just so much. I mean, yeah, obviously it needs some refining, but the vision and the scale of it, because that's is that an inch or is that a
what's it divided by 5?
Yeah, it's divided by 5.
That's a metric one probably.
Yeah, is it a centimeter?
I'm guessing.
Is it that small?
Probably. Yeah, it's less than 2 centimeters. I'm guessing. Even so, that's less than half an inch. Realistically.
Yeah. Way less. Wild. Good stuff. No build too big, no build too small.
I want somebody to do like a little artifact size one.
I mean,
tiny model, little miniature, little tiny.
Oh sure, yeah. Even that could just end up being more like a sculpture too. Yeah, it's nice little treaded, nice little tracked mecha.
I can judge that shit.
That's crazy. I have seen this. I love this. The overscale, the oversize of this is a lot of fun. Obviously, love to see the styrene build a box. Man, it's not easy. Here's another fun one. Just greeblies and little bits and pieces repurposed.
Right.
Nice. Love real life hardware. Always good to add. Nice little bits. Of course, you can't really see some of this inner stuff, but
GPO 2 feet. GPO 2A feet. Trying to think of what's the actual red parts, maybe. Missing the toe. It looks like it's missing the toe prong thingy.
Oh yeah, I have.
Just a guess. I don't know.
That could be. No, that's actually a very good guess. I don't see why it wouldn't be that. It's not.
I'm guessing because of the bulk of it.
Yeah, it's not like a XS or anything like that. Cool stuff. Excellent attention to detail.
All the hydraulics in the plumbing.
Yeah, good stuff. Good concept and good execution. Wow, this is complicated. Oh my.
Right, Chappie.
Yeah, kinda. But like, hell yeah, the webcam.
He moonlights for Oats Studio.
yeah, right.
It does.
To be seen on your next episode of Raka.
Absolutely. All up on Netflix now too, by the way, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. Super handy to have that. Gosh, this is so fun. Well done. Keep it up. Yeah, it's going to be crazy to see a lot of these complicated and complex builds.
Painted up.
Oh, nice. Little finger break there. Cool, yeah, and see, it can start as easy as this. Like, just start off with a simple sketch in mind, get the color palette, get your blade, and just kind of get funky with it.
Let's go. Yeah, just dive in.
This is interesting. This is like a kind of like a Mecha Masume integration, right? Oh, there's some IBO arm parts in there.
This one's pretty far along. Looks like it's in primer already.
I think we saw a version of this earlier, like way up in the feed. Yeah, this is the build. He's working on the second figure, the dead mecha.
No.
Oh, this one's wild. So definite Zaku vibes.
Right.
From this.
The Xeon piping gives it away.
Yep. Yeah, the piping is pretty hard, but I like pipes on my mechs too. So
no, me too.
I do like that it's this made of, those are nylon screws, it looks like, drilled out.
This looks like the same guy that was doing the feet earlier, because that green waist joint looks the same.
This one right here, yeah.
Calamity style building up compilation. Layers on layers.
Oh yeah, definitely scribing and then refining, painting and sanding and refining. There you go. Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, he's moving along.
Yeah, I like this is fun. Definitely like too. Yeah, exactly. Definitely has some good size, and it's it definitely has some like, Gundam-esque vibes, but it doesn't feel like it's just a full-on Gundam, like you're not just like building a Zaku again or whatever, or a Goof again. Yep, here's some more. There's those feet earlier on. Yeah, we're going back in time now, so.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Cool. I'm gonna drop this for a second.
Okay.
Let's see. Pabs, let's see what's going on here. Pabs saying motivation this year is very good to see. And yes, I agree, Pabs. Zach Aurelius would definitely be into that. Unless he's talking about Zach from Galactic, which is one of our sponsors.
There's a lot of Zachs too. Well, there's only two technically, but it feels like there's a lot of Zachs.
Yeah. Pabs, I'm glad that when you go to the bathroom you feel movements.
It's terrible when you try that and it doesn't happen, when you don't feel the movements. That's the negative of all that. So
yes, wholeheartedly. It's too much time sitting in this modeling chair, I tell you.
You're like, yeah, I go to the bathroom. Okay, cool. Right on.
Does anybody out there have any questions that you want to pose to our illustrious guest judge?
Yeah. Taking questions.
Push on the exhale, says Salty Robot. Well, thank you. Tips. Well, it's just
there is breathing. Yeah, get the breathing going. Get your Lamal's breathing going. Inhale, exhale.
Yeah. Posture, Always get yourself a squatty potty. No. Yeah. So let me.
Have we heard from Jon or no?
Think. He's en route. I haven't heard anything from him updated as to his.
Right on.
Yeah, I'm sure he's traveling. Did I mention the time change thing? So yeah, the time change for those of you that are joining us right now, the United States changed its clocks for daylight savings.
Yeah. And this is the bad one. This was the spring forward. This is, you lose the hour when you wake up. You're like, wait, how come I slept in so late? And you're like, no, you didn't sleep in late.
Exactly.
You're actually up early.
Yeah, he lost time. Oh, terrible.
So messed up.
Yeah. So let me think about good things that I can talk about that would be important at this point of the competition. Try and stay focused on your. I was expecting this in 30 minutes, says Reckless Modeling. Exactly. Once again, just talking about the time change that went down here. Oh wait, here we go.
We've got a question.
Yep. Question from Johnny 5, Salty Robot. How do you like working with acrylics? I love them, so it's nice to hear more people are using them.
Yeah, it's all about getting the word out.
Yeah, and I also love acrylics. I've always been a acrylic user. Are you still using Mission?
I spent 10 years spraying lacquers, like real lacquers, with lacquer thinner and all that. And I just don't think the end game's worth it, personally. Even with full vented systems and everything else, I don't think the health, the risk, what you push through your body, and Brian, because you work with a lot of stuff over time.
Yes,
Chemicals. And for me, if you can get an acrylic that can perform like a lacquer, it's, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. Just do it, learn it, be the best you can with it, and go for it. It's not worth, to me, the lacquer. And even then in this conversation of joints and scratches and stuff like that, I mean, there's plenty of chemicals that you can add to those acrylics to make them strong enough to withstand all the durability factors you guys are into. So
that's what
I stepped into it. I never went back.
That's the emissions poly, right? The emission models poly is
this little stuff here, the poly additives.
Right. So I haven't used that with the mission models, and I paint almost exclusively with mission models now because I love them as well. They're really, really good. The colors are great. You can thin them out, get a like transparency with them.
All my paint racks right on
Nice.
my IKEA paint rack under the windows with my douage, which I'm hoping to snap up someday soon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
I feel like but that one's for me.
I was working with ammo for a long time, the ammo acrylics, and they're good, but they're very chalky, right?
Okay. Yeah,
and opaque. So
for
I was
military guys, because you want that in that kind of realm of, when we spray tanks and planes, and you want that real strong opacity out of the gate. And, but you've got the ammo, the AK, you've got Life Color, Vallejo, however you want to say it.
Vallejo, yeah.
Most of those, if you guys aren't familiar with, you're using basically a plastic polymer inside, and so they're all. What you get is the processing manufacturing of a plastic to get the pigments down to the grain size to use for airbrushing, all that kind of stuff. The reason, and what Brian is talking about as well, is the mission models is organic based. It's not plastic based. And so you get a much finer grain of paint, which allows you to do more to it. If you're a guy like me who weathers and chips and scratches, and you can, the ability to do stuff with it is phenomenal once you kind of really come to grips with it all. So that's why another reason I like it too.
Yeah. Excellent.
So,
Paul's got a question. Here real quick before Paul's question, we're going to say Patty Cake says thanks to Mike here, I've been switching to mission models, and the weathering potential with the mission models paint is endless. Really. Yeah.
I think we're just getting started in that conversation too. It's been a couple years of it, and now we're kind of all getting our feet kind of grounded in what we can do and what we can't do, and what chemicals work with it and what chemicals don't. With the mission models in particular, and it's now starting to get easy, and that opens that river. We're like, if we were walking down the stream, and now we hit the tributary, and now we're in the main. That whole thing. So it's like the floodgates are opening for everybody, I think, is what we're seeing. So
that's awesome. That's great. Paul's question here: how do you both go about scratch building and kit bashing? Do you have a design in mind at first, or find build parts, or do you fit it? Start putting things together. What about you, Mike?
Me?
Start with you. Yeah.
I'm one of those guys that likes to take preset forms and kind of put them together to see what kind of new forms I get. It's rare I start with like an actual, like that one guy, just the straws or whatever, just had like the tubes. I rarely start that basic. So I tend to kit bash existing as my flavor. With that kind of stuff is like to take, 2 or 3 of one to make a new one kind of a thing, and then see where it goes.
Yep.
That's why I have such mad respect for Luca, because it's like when you see what he does and how he does it to the extent that he does it, you're like, your brain hurts. You're like, wait, what? What did you just do?
Man, that's pure rabbit hole, I think, and it's unfortunately wasn't able to join us. I think. Yes. Yeah. Wholeheartedly. Yeah. Luca's he's a great guy. But I had pleasure to meet him several years ago, and then just to continue to talk to him because he's a great guy. Yeah. Super creative. We have some good books, guys, that I can show. I actually have them in the next room that are coming up. We got
mine are in the next room too. They're over there.
And we got some nothing but mechs, some stuff like that to give away as prizes. So don't forget about all that cool stuff that is available to win. Mad respect for all of the participating sponsors, and of course, Mike, you the judge, and all the other judges as well that are joining us this year. It's so great to have everybody participating together. So yeah, for me starting, I do kind of like what Mike was saying too. I have a huge collection of extra parts and parted out kits. So like donor kits or just something that I'm like, all right, this was cool, but it's going to be something else. And I'll do that. I'll mix things together until I get kind of shapes that I feel look good, or I start to groove with a thing. And then I think the main important thing about kit bashing and scratch building stuff is to be willing to start over. or to change things.
True,
So like if you get started on an idea and you're just like hammering it, but it isn't really flowing and it isn't working right, it's you should be willing to take a second and start over. Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
Epoxy sculpt, milliput, or other. I haven't actually worked with epoxy sculpt myself, but I have used Magic Sculpt and some of the other relative similar products. So milliput probably is the most grainy of all those. They're kind of it's got its own embedded texture, if you will.
Yes.
So it's not the fan favorite. I think milliput is kind of useful for certain tasks for sure, but I'd say a Magic Sculpt or Epoxy Sculpt is going to be the heavyweights for the true sculptors in terms of like what we're talking about, outside of doing the whole clay sculpture thing.
I've been
sculpting clay stuff, Sculpey and all that.
Yeah, I've been using Epoxy Sculpt for, a decade now, and through all my stuff, even back when I was building 1-to-1 scale props, stuff like that, Epoxy Sculpt is great because it's a way to bridge gaps and get rounds, like, building stuff out of wood and metal and plastic and stuff.
To do it all too.
Yeah, and you can machine it and put screws into it. You can put like threads into it, and you can do all sorts of crazy stuff. I've even dyed it and used it on metalworking where we couldn't get weld to fit in. There was like too much whatever, and the epoxy kept blowing out. So I like dyed it and like stained it the same color as the finish and packed it in on metalwork. Ridiculous, but I'm a huge fan of the Epoxy Sculpt, and it's good stuff, but it isn't like the be all end all. There's a lot of 2-part putties out there. If you can't get Epoxy Sculpt, don't stress it. You can go get plumber's epoxy from the hardware store. I actually have some right here in this drawer, and it comes in a singular stick like this. I guess this one's copper for fixing copper stuff, but so then you just like pull a chunk off of it and work it in your hands until it's the same thing, and it can be the same deal. So that you can get this for a couple bucks at your hardware store if you can't get the epoxy.
And they have all different types, all bunch of different stuff.
Yep.
Some that take hours to set up, some that quick sets, all sorts of. And then you have the green stuff, which is quote unquote sponsor segue, but
hell yeah. And then green stuff, green stuff,
epoxy stuff. The banded ones that you can make thin stuff out of too. Sheets. I think this is tarps and stuff like that, capes, whatever. Yeah.
There's also
you've got green stuff. Yep. There's always that
stuff.
Yeah,
your basics.
Those putties. Filler putties.
Polyester putties and filler putties. Those are kind of weird.
There's Bondo. You can work with certain Bondos if you want to.
Baby.
I mean, on the bigger stuff.
I miss the smell of Bondo. As weird as that might sound.
Is that the Apocalypse Now line?
I don't know.
Come in the morning.
Oh yeah, right. Pretty dang close. But yes, I used to hate it. And then I spent so much time doing creative things with it and working around that I actually got to like really, really enjoy it.
They all kind of work the same. You got the resin body, then you got the hardener, and all those products, most of us will do the same or most of what we need. So yeah, it's all good stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like I
probably wouldn't use Bondo in my apartment. So I do use a little bit more of the less caustic things. I don't have a garage or anything, so I do have to. This is my studio, so I do have to.
No doubt. Yeah, I'm lucky. I now have an outdoor space. I lived in that apartment in Brooklyn for forever and a day, and now I have like a yard, so I can go outside.
Makes a big difference when you can do those kind of heavy chemical stuff.
Or like stuff. And the dust. Wear a respirator. I wore a respirator for majority of my time working at the metal shop, and I have like 93% in my lungs. So like, keep that number at 100 or as close to 100 as you guys can. Trust me.
That's my thing now. Yeah.
Please.
I crossed the half century mark, and I'm really concerned about all those things now. It's funny.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, shit. Yeah. No, I need to worry about that. But
I'm not quite there. I'm rounding the corner, but I'm not quite.
You're bringing up the rear. Well, you get Pabsy and the kids.
Bring it back of the pack. Oh no, those guys are they're just like kicking rocks at the fucking starting line. Almost, it seems like it if you really think about it. Yeah. What do we have here? West System Boat Builders Epoxy.
Yeah, they're talking about like real stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is it? Kyle says it really comes down to the cost by volume and the cure time. True, and integrate and like its compatibility with what you're trying to do. Like you don't want to use things that aren't going to be good.
How much you're doing with it too. I mean, oftentimes from my world, I'm just doing little bits and little pieces, and a bedroll or a tarp or something. So I don't need a lot. Like for me personally, but those of you that are building stuff, it's it becomes a different conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I use epoxy sculpt very heavily on my builds for that, because you can scribe it. You can scribe it right next to styrene and it's fine, finish down. It works really well, but other things will chip out. Sometimes Bondo, if it's not mixed properly too, you have to worry about the ratios of epoxy sculpt. For me anyways, I like it because it's 50-50 by visual or by weight. So if you really want to get crazy, like my buddy Shane Daft Robo style, if you want to get out the little letter scale and weigh your little bits out so you got that all perfect and
chemistry, man. Chemistry, physics, all that
you
stuff.
You can also eyeball that.
It's like baking cookies. You need to have the precision sometimes.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. But then again, there's also like world-renowned bakers that can just like sling that shit. Mad respect for you builders and bakers out there that can just sling it,
The builders and baker log.
Yeah.
There's a nice crossover. Yeah. What are you saying there, Pabsy? We are the youths. Bondo can be hot. Yeah. That's the other thing. A lot of these, when they cure, they can heat up, and you can have some issues if you're not careful in our plastic world. So.
Right. Yeah. Definitely a conversation to be had about pouring resin, especially if you're trying to do water effects or clear effects. Yeah, I've done a lot of resin work. Yep. I've done a lot of resin work in different ways, and even like if you're familiar with a type of resin. And you've done a procedure, like I used to rotocast big like laser guns and stuff, and if your humidity or like just the subtlest things are slightly off, it can totally change the kicking time and how hot things are going to kick. I've tried to pull guns that come out like this weird like globby stringy mess that just like, and it plugs itself up, and then you pour resin all over yourself and the floor, and it's horrible. But yeah, so please be careful, know your work times, and
safety first, kids.
Yeah, safety first. Well, they also say safety. They also say safety third. You heard that before?
Third? No.
Yeah, because it's like education is first, then there's preparation, and then there's the safety gear. So like you should definitely know what you're doing. You should be prepared to do what you're going to do, and then you should rely on your safety gear. So you don't just like.
That's for the hardcore ones out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I've been using styrene dissolved in Tamiya airbrush cleaner as a filler lately, and it works well, says Peter. Huh. Okay.
Or the glue. That's common.
Yeah, like
melting the plastic or whatever into kind of a mushy little good times. The beauty of that is when you sand it, it's the same as the styrene is underneath, so it does blend, visually. So that's a nice part of that process, Peter. That's one of the reasons I think a lot of guys like that too.
Yeah, I think I heard like actually on the bench, the boys down in Australia, say that they will use different colored styrene to give that, so you can see where your filling line is. Because if you use the same color styrene, sometimes you won't be able to see
your end game be
what you were filling. Yeah, I mean, if you're not gonna, if you're not gonna paint it, or if you're just working on filling a seam on a model that's going to be on the shelf, I suppose. Yeah. Don't be silly, Protector Willie. Thank you, Kyle. Dad knowledge from Dad Kyle.
Little PSA, little moment of public service announcement.
I can only imagine what Scarlett's going to be saying when she gets old enough to really be rowdy. She's just a little like a toddler now. So
well, they're going to go back and watch these in time, and they're going to.
That's great. I can only imagine. Yeah. I still want to go back and do a supercut from my old live streams of my dog drinking water in the background when he was still alive, because he was a wise man all his time. Wait. Peter says Tamiya airbrush cleaner is the same formula as extra thin cement.
Interesting.
No shit.
That
is wild.
Yeah,
that is wild.
So basically you're putting glue through your airbrush? Is that what you're trying to say?
Could be. Oh, hey, Capster. What's up on Twitch?
What would be in that? We probably got a similar binder inside of it then, or whatever they're using. I'm not sure what would be that. Because otherwise, you're literally telling me I can put extra thin cement through my airbrush to clean it.
I would.
Which is weird. Kind of.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily do that. But I guess if the base dissolver is what, acetone or something along those lines. So
is acetone in there?
I think there may be acetone in it.
I'm not
100% sure. I know acetone melts styrene.
Yeah. That's the other beauty, not to sell it, but of going full water based, is a lot of that stuff isn't so caustic that it doesn't destroy models by accident either. You know,
Yeah.
the water-based
Oh, yeah.
conversation. That is one of the nice side effects too, by the way. You can mess up without messing up your stuff.
And you almost exclusively use mineral oil when working with your oils, right? You don't use any thinners or like anything.
Well, it's
hot.
it's one of the few residual hobby products from the Spanish companies. Is I use right now? I've got AK's odorless thinner. Now, this is the one thing that I hate in this world / art hobby, whatever, you know, woodworking, whatever, all that stuff. All the various names of all the different thinners, and they do overlap. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, mineral spirits, and this is an odorless thinner. They're known by different things in different parts of the world. And that's one thing that I like. I'm a terminology guy, and I hate that part of that. Like what's what, that whole thing. So I don't buy mineral spirits per se, but I do the hobby odorless thinners. So that's what I use.
Yeah, I've been using this Gamblin Gamsol. Which is pretty good.
Great. They're right here. Right out here.
Oh, nice.
Gamblin's local. Yep. They make some really high-end oil paint stuff.
Yeah,
really
and yeah, this is fabulous. But I also I have white, just like regular white spirits that I have at work, as opposed to using like a lacquer thinner, which is a little heavier. I don't, that's gonna have other weird shit in it. Like
no.
Xylene
I've gone through the gamut of all the solvent-based thinners, at least from the hobby side of things. And I've settled on the odorless, and the thing that I like about it personally is just kind of the silkiness, and plus there is no smell, literally, so it is by name, which is important because you're doing a couple hour session, there's no smells, which is beautiful, but that silky blend for the stuff, the precision level of blending I'm looking for is one of the main reasons I really lean on it heavily. The white spirits, the enamel thinners, the stronger stuff as it moves over, they tend to break the pigments down a little bit more, I've noticed. But if you're using it depends on kind of, you've got this ratio of oil paint quality and then your thinner quality, and you kind of play between how high you go up on either one. You can kind of do certain things with it. But the hobby stuff that I use, because there's a lot of military colors and the desaturated tones, and the art store like Gamblin and Winsor Newton, you get a lot of primaries, a lot of rich tones. But I need the mutes. I need the ones that don't talk very loud. So it's kind of
you need
using the hobby stuff.
Yeah, you need your tertiaries.
Absolutely. So it's all that kind of stuff that I look at. So yeah, but that's like what I've settled on. Keeps a little bit of the dollars in the hobby and some of that stuff too. So
yeah, no, that's good. That's a definitely valuable information, and it's good to do a little bit of research and look around, see what's going on.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong with many of that stuff. It's just kind of what your end game is, and then what your price point is, and then what your accessibility is. And all the same thing with the putties. It's kind of the same idea. It depends on kind of what you're trying to do, what you got available, what kind of money you want to spend. It's all that. It's all those.
Yeah, exactly.
In between things.
It's the big Venn diagram, and in the center.
Absolutely.
See, Peter says that they're both 50/50 acetone and butyl acetate.
Interesting. Okay.
Very interesting. I obviously don't use anything that caustic because I'm working with acrylics, but I don't use I don't thin with water. I thin with Createx's 2-butoxy ethanol mixture.
Right.
They're 4211 or whatever it is. And I also keep water. You also should, because some things don't mix well with alcohol.
I'll do my flushes with water. Like once I'm done spraying, I'll flush. I keep you guys on that seen patty cakes. You guys have seen my little plant water. This dude. So I'll flush my airbrush. Like I'll do a flush right in the cup, dump it out in my little catch thing, and then I'll use the thinner sparingly for the final clean. That'll keep the thing from using your thinner up really nicely.
Yeah, because you can blow through a lot of thinner.
You can blow through thinner fast. Yeah, for sure. So that's another nice bit of it.
Right. Of course, Peter. We know what you're talking about with the styrene.
We are in the same conversation, Peter. Yeah. We got you. Because it's cool. Because what you're also saying too is interesting. Because by the same token, then could you therefore then use the airbrush cleaner as a glue? Like now I'm like intrigued. Like I'm probably gonna go buy some just to see what you can do and can't do.
Yeah. I also am curious because there are times when the glue is too much. Like if I'm using really thin styrene, it will just it'll break makes it brittle, or it'll melt it to smudge. So that's cool. It's interesting. Okay. Very interesting.
Yeah, What's
Um,
Kyle say? What's Kyle going on about?
Thinner to paint for weathering is definitely a technique I need to get better with. I have a bad habit of removing too much. Right.
So Kyle, what you're talking about is rubbing off the paint with the thinner. Is that what you mean?
I think that's what he's talking
Is
about.
that what
Kyle,
he's
we need
talking
to have
about?
it. We need to have a conversation, Kyle. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
no,
go
I
that
mean,
route.
I'm on board. I do it.
Uh-huh.
I can't read Wolfgang's comment above him, but I think that's spam. BYN.
Yeah, I don't know what that
FYI.
means.
I'm not sure what
Yeah,
that
I
is.
don't know what that means either. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean the reductive or reducing, or removing via thinner, that conversation, I've it's quite the same. Yeah, I've done that quite a bit. So,
Yeah, removing my
that
oils that I'm.
thinking. Okay.
So use mineral.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
spirits
Okay, yeah,
instead of
okay, I'm with
thinner.
you, Kyle.
Kyle,
Okay.
we just went through it. Okay, so I just went through this the other day, Mike. Believe it or not.
Okay.
And I talked to Kyle about this
Well,
because
Kyle,
we were
is
sticking
slow.
chats.
You got to repeat stuff.
He
You
ain't.
got
He's
in
not
one ear and
slow.
out the other.
He's just occupied by baby times sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
And Elden Ring. No, so I was working on this, right? The Mirage, right? And I was applying oils.
It always looks huge in your photos. It's funny how it's actually not that
very
big.
tiny. The idea is that you're supposed to make it look like
it's a small jet too, by the way. If you've never seen it, yeah, those that don't know Mirage 3, it's a F-16 size fighter plane, small.
Yeah, it's the same scale as the A-10 up there hanging on my ceiling.
40,
all right,
40,
so
Edward
48 scale, yeah, not quarter scale. That's 1 to 25, quarter 1 to 48 scale. Okay, so anyways, yeah, so I had done my decal work, I'd done my paint work, I was getting ready, applied the armament or the ordnance, and I was getting ready to or no, I didn't have the ordnance on, but whatever. I was getting ready to apply pin wash to just get some details in the bottom of it, but I didn't do a good enough clear coat quality. And I was using thinner, like actual thinner, Kyle, to mix my oils or to thin my oils down instead of letting them, soak out the linseed and then using
the traditional old school way.
Right. Yeah.
Making an oil wash. Yeah. I'm with you.
Yes, exactly. And I ate straight through down to the primer, or down through the primer down to the bare plastic. And I had to go back and then restand and
would you paint
reprime.
What was the brand of paint?
This is Mission on the bottom.
This is
Createx. This is
really?
This is the Createx and Createx paint.
Well, so it's basically an acrylic, and you've got a solvent. Usually, solvents typically don't eat through acrylics, and so maybe and what I'm thinking is down in the and this is the expanded vision of the panel line is down inside there. There's very little paint, is what I'm guessing. Maybe.
Yeah. And I didn't seal it well enough, and it basically, I assume it didn't
happen. Yeah, that's unusual.
It ate the primer out from underneath the acrylic because the acrylic layers are very thin. I paint very thin paint release style, where I do thin transparent layers as opposed to doing like thick blocky paint.
And what was the thinner that was it your white spirits?
No, brother. I was using unicorn tears, so I was using the hottest of hot thinners.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
That's where I should bet.
So when I lean on, that's another part. When I say the hobby brand stuff, that's another part of what they tend to be cool enough for us to do the bullshit when we screw up and it doesn't chew through stuff. There is a little bit of that conversation sometimes too, but that's cool. Yeah, because usually that's what it is. Guys out there, you don't know that don't paint. If you put an acrylic down, typically you can put solvents on top without harm. Usually that's it's really stable and very repeatable. So there's that.
Yeah. That's a joy.
So that sucks, but I'm sure you'll fix it.
I already fixed it. It's already fixed. It set me back. It set me back 5 hours on my deadline. Nothing is broken. That's the deal. People are like, oh, it's broken, or I fucked it up or whatever. It's like, it's not, it's never, fully fucked. At least I hope not.
I get guys write me all the time. I'm so afraid. Like of what, bro?
You don't want to mess it up.
It's not a monster.
Right.
It's not a shark.
Okay.
See, I'm afraid of sharks.
You can't. Fair enough. Come out to Jersey.
Fingerprint on a model, bro. That's no big deal. That's nothing.
No. Yeah, you can work around that. Come out to Jersey for the sharks if you want them.
No, thank you.
But yeah, no, really, only thing you can't repair is you can't repair time. And that's what it's going to be. And, if you're working for a deadline for a competition or something like that, you have to manage your expectations versus the reality of the situation. Sometimes you're not going to be able to do everything that you needed to do. For example, I was going to make a whole mirror base for this model, the Mirage, right? And because of my personal F up, my trying to rush a little bit, I ended up having to take a bunch of extra time. I couldn't do the base. I pushed it and I didn't submit the model until, instead of submitting it at like 2 p.m, I submitted it at 11:59 Central, when the deadline was 11:59 Central.
Wow.
So it was just
Time
like
management.
I'm getting more grace. It doesn't look like it because the camera's good to me, but I'm getting more grace. Okay.
Yeah, but I think what Kyle is also talking about was so thinner to paint ratio. So what you're talking about, Kyle, is what's on that brush of the oil paints and the thinner combined in the brush on this thing, and what that is, and what you're, for your blendings and for your applications and stuff. So I've got many videos on my channel, my friend. Come join the live stream. Come hang out. We'll do oils.
Yeah.
We'll do the oils.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys don't know, Mike's streams Wednesdays, which you probably
I've tried to lock that in for a while. It's been a couple months of just Wednesday, 12 Pacific. I'm in Portland, so it works out pretty well. But you're right. Brian and I were talking before we kicked on live that those big streams of 2-3 hours, man, they'll wear you out. They will wear you out. My Wednesdays are shot. I'm like, done.
Yeah, by the end of it, you're just looking for a meal and a little imbibement. Something to take the edge off.
No, for sure, Kyle. Yeah. There's a lot of them, and they're long. I understand. That is one thing I'm trying to do, Brian, too, is I want to go through my YouTubes and start clipping stuff out and making playlists for dudes to just, like, you just want oil work, you just want airbrushing, whatever, just to create a better resource. It's a lot of work. So,
and what you do, Mike, because you're essentially, working through several different models all at the same time, and then on your live streams you go through and you take a segment of each of your live streams and you kind of work on different things, talking to the chat and answering questions and blah blah blah. But that's a really smart way to keep it diverse enough for you to stay very interested. Plus, I'm sure that's also kind of your modus is to work on several different things, it seems.
Well, I do that actually for the viewership more than for my own, personal stuff. First off, I'm like you, Brian. Like, I love everything, so it doesn't bother me to work on a mech, a jet, a robot, I don't care, tank, whatever.
Yep.
But the fellers on the other side of the camera, some of them get kind of like, how come you're not doing any tanks? What's that robot? What are you doing? So I do have to kind of placate my audience a little bit. I'm mostly armor, if you don't know, I'm mostly armor. So I do mostly that. But and who had a question there? Reckless, Rinaldi Studio Press, the YouTube and Instagram and all. I can't type in. Can I put a comment up? I can't put a comment.
You can put comments up, but let me make you an admin real quick
on
my channel, or mod on my channel.
YouTube. Yeah. I'm in the StreamYard window, so I don't have the YouTube. But yeah.
Right.
Or Patty Cakes, or somebody can put up my dealio.
Hold up.
My
or Pabs. Actually, Pabs and Kyle and Julio are moderators.
I'm just a guest today. I don't have any rights or reason.
I'll link it. I'll link it into the. I'll link it into the description on the video.
You're fine, dude. It's totally cool.
When it's done, without a doubt. Yeah, it'll be easy.
I usually pop right up if you just look up for my last name, Rinaldi. So
yeah. Very, very few Rinaldis.
This dude, Rinaldi Studio Press.
Yep. There it is. Man, mine is so whooped.
I love it. That's why I did the white. I want to see how I found it. Okay, you got it. Yeah. So that's why I did the white. I love it, dude. I want to do a contest one day of who's got the most weathered book.
It's not the worst.
It's holding up nicely though.
I've tried to take pretty good care of it.
Yeah.
There is definitely there's some coffee rings on it, kind of. But
I did that on purpose. There you go. Thank you, Kyle. Yeah, that's the website, and then that'll link you. The social links are on the website too. I appreciate that, fellas. After you watch, consider joining the Patreon for a bunch. Oh, thank you, Pat. Yep, it's on the Patreon. Yeah, did you guys?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Did you start your Patreon for the Sideways yet?
We have not. We've been talking about it and just kind of like figuring out what we can do to make it worth the while. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I think about. I would think probably more. The rewards was the hardest thing of Patreon to figure out, like how to kind of work it all up. What are you paying for? That whole thing. Do I get a reach around? I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know a lot of behind the extra. Maybe you guys record 4 or 5 hours and then they get all that extra juicy stuff.
We have hours of bullshit.
Hours.
We just
my
have
interpretation is like the 5 or 6 of you. You just sit around all week talking. And then finally there's like a 2-hour window where you're like, okay, Pabsy, puts on his like I'm the boss hat, and he goes, okay, now we got to be on point. And then the rest of the week is just bull. That's how I imagine you guys all the time.
Well, it is because we talk all day, every day.
Yeah,
we're just like a group of friends.
That's what I was figuring. Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, exactly. Lately, we've been talking about Elden Ring, so the video game from Software that's recently out in the market, and so that's kind of been. I've been steadily working on models. Pabs has been working on his mecha. He's doing some great scribing work, and Julio's been working on this custom bust from this guy out in California.
Julio, the king of busts.
Made a goof. Like nice. He made like a goof in the head of like the Exceed heads, I think they are. The like the little small size, like 1 to 12 size heads. Yeah. No, not Exceed, the other ones. The Gachapon ones. They come in the ball.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Yep. Gotcha. Yeah, I fucked it up. So but yeah, so it's gonna be cool. Yes, we will, Crab.
Chris, I could be bribed, Fabs. I could be bribed. Totally open to the bribery.
Yeah.
You can Venmo me, PayPal, whatever. Whatever you need, brother. Whatever you need, my friend.
Kyle, I do believe that you are painting. Kyle's a many, like most of us, we wear many hats. Kyle's also a woodworker and a carpenter. So he's been working on rebuilding his workspace and building new desks and like all this crazy shit. Nice. So yeah, he's been going to town.
Yeah.
Good to have. Jonathan should be here soon.
I actually have to do a Patreon coaching session in about 45 minutes. So I got about a half
hour.
Yeah,
you're going to leave us. Yeah, you're going to leave us pretty soon. I know, Mike.
I was waiting for John, but I have to bounce pretty soon.
Yep.
But we'll do this. I would say too, by the way, I mean, to everybody listening, I would say this is probably, we need to get Luca was supposed to be here. We're going to try to get everybody. So we've got plenty of time to do more of these things, and it gives you more time to build and do your creatives, do your chores. Hit your like button, like Brian's channel, subscribe to Bro Builder, all that stuff. Do your chores, kids.
Kodokai.
I always forget that too.
No, I know, and that's the thing. Like it used to be called Brian Dencloud Creations or whatever. So.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be too.
Get the word out.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. I think we live in a world now where I think most of us, because I'm like you. I'm not comfortable selling shit. I actually just like to make the models and do this stuff, but like I have to put, hey, it's a promo. Like I have to do it, but
I promote your shit all the time. It's worth it.
No, I mean, but you know what I mean. Like I hate selling myself. I'm like, fuck off.
No, I agree. Yeah. No, I mean, yes and no, but at the same time, it's like, yeah. It's a. Wait, here we go. Planary says maybe you can tell us a little something about the junior division. And this is why it would be great to have Cam here.
Yes, Salty Robot. The answer is yes. I'm always happy to advise on printing. It's a big deal, especially today's world with COVID, supply chain issues, North American paper supplies. If you're in North America, or European paper suppliers and stuff, it's a thing. Yeah. Drop me a DM, Salty, no problem.
Yeah, and I've also been talking with them about potentially for Cerulean project coming up, doing because I'm going to be participating this year as best as I can.
That's right. That's right. He does all the book stuff. Yep.
Yeah, I just got. Hold up, I got books. Hold up, I'll show y'all.
Printing. I'm old school. I love tactile things. I get the digital requests all the time. Can you PDF? I'm like, well, PDFs are thieves. Yeah, absolutely.
So here's volume 1, volume 2. They are exceptional books, and it isn't just like like amazing representations. Hardcover. Yeah, quality hardcover, really really nice quality paper, really really good quality imagery, excellent write-ups from each of the participant artists, and then there's huge sections, as you may or may not know, the Cerulean project is focused around mental health and wellness, and so there are large portions in the book, like not overly large portions, but there are good quality
and that
portions.
Was the recent
of the
podcast
book.
Too. You guys did, right? Wasn't last Friday?
That was the last podcast. Week? Yeah.
Previous Friday. Last Friday.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Friday it is anymore because it's Sunday. Was it the 11th of March? We just put a date out there.
Yeah. It was the 11th.
It was the recent one. Yeah.
Yeah, we just did it.
Okay. Well, see, now I don't feel bad. I thought I was a week behind. I'm not a week behind. I'm only like 2 days behind now.
You're a couple days back. Yeah, exactly. You're not bad at all. Oh, here's me.
That's good.
So yeah. Okay. Really, really excellent quality books, good write-ups, conversations starting. There's a great Discord. If you guys want to join that, you can. You can contact Salty Robot about that stuff. Super cool, great community.
Well, I know Salty probably give you those too. Is the price of a book, like to get it printed, you can take your specs to a printer. You'll be at one price point. Take the exact same specs to another printer with the same paper, same stuff, and it'd be like a totally different. You're like, wait,
why?
what's going on? Yeah, it's a thing. Printing's a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can only imagine, because I thought about, so with my my first build for the OMC, first year of OMC, the Flea, I thought about putting out a coffee table book with high res images.
More guys don't, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, I know I do, but I mean, I'm surprised it's not more common. Right. I know it's a lot of work. It is, especially the layouts and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I'm
60%. Yeah, that's what I say. Some of you'd be like at one price point, you'd be like the other price point's like not even in the same conversation. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And this guy over here is like, well, I got to buy my wife a new car. This guy over here is like, well, I just need to go buy lunch. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And pay my guys and stuff. Like keep the roof over my head and make a buck to.
It's rough. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty wild. But no, and I agree with you. Like, I don't know why more of the, more builders don't. Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Like we talked about the Vered book earlier too. It's like seeing that kind of stuff to me, where that's really one man vision, and then pushing it through. Then like what the Cerulean project is, and pushing the visions through. I think maybe this is opening that door, saying, hey guys, don't be afraid to do that.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
You never know where things can go like that. Especially if you have good, and the thing for all of you out there thinking of this same thing, it's the same with socials. The only difference for print is you really just need like a 300 DPI res. You just need a higher resolution image. But if you're familiar with the photography process, all you really need is the good imagery. You can always add the words over time. So, the crux of it really is capturing, and that's what I had to learn as a publisher, is you photograph everything, every single damn thing that you can do or talk about. And then that gives you the material, and the rest is easy.
Yeah, I and I used to do more of that. Not gonna lie, like when I first, the Fleet, my first OMC build, I have like 3,000 photos or something like that of it. It's a ridiculous amount of photography, but it's
that's
not
absurd, but yeah,
it is. It's not. But I mean, I literally built it for. I spent the entire 6 months of the build competition working on the project as well as other projects, but it was always there on the bench, and so it went along. It's been a long way, baby. Or like whatever.
My bench is actually a photo studio. That's how I ended up working at the end of the day.
There is my drawback, is that I don't have like the nice clean studio style like you have. Dude,
you can see it's just super clean and simple.
And you can see I'm in freaking Aladdin's cave over here.
And that's normal. No, you're normal, dude. You're fine. I'm not normal. I'm the strange one. Trust me.
No, I mean, but I think that it would be beneficial if I could have like a space or something that I could set up without having to like strip the whole bench down, set up a drop, and like reposition lights and get stuff like that.
That was what it was. That was really for me too. It became too much of when you're doing something and you're trying to capture it. You have to stop and put it over here and then bring it back over here and keep going. And you kept doing all this stuff, and it was like, F that. Just the whole bench is actually the light box now. And I think I talked about this a little bit. Right now it's daytime, but and you too, you get all that light. But if you're photography dudes and model building dudes and all that stuff is and I know Pabsy's all done that stuff, and there's Luca. I work at night when I do this stuff so that I kill the ambient light, so I have all my colors consistent for photography's sake. It's an easy way to control things if you're just kind of a hobbyist, if you will. But hello, Luca. There he is.
Yeah, hey Luca, how you doing, buddy? I like to say that I'll take my photographs at night because it kills the ambient light, but it's just because I'm at the end of that deadline. Like I'm just.
This is the byproduct. Yeah.
I'll use every second available for a contest or a build, like if I can.
Absolutely.
I was never that first kid done with the test. Ain't a race, man. It's a marathon. Like in a sprint, it's a marathon. Pabs loves taking workbench photos and add some light and a bit of depth to the image, and you're all set. Well, Pabs, you also have a really nicely set up workbench. It's really clean and spacious.
This is true.
Pabs is also a phenomenal photographer. If you guys did not know, he has a couple of critical photography lessons up. They're like 2-hour long streams where he works specifically almost with Julio and Kyle out there in the chat, clipping nubs and
that's why they're 2 hours long, because of the subject matter he's working with,
Well, and he goes through and he explains the different functions of the
that's
cameras.
10 minutes for most guys, but it was Julio and Kyle, so it was a 2-hour stream. So that's how that is. Let's just be honest about that.
Every sec they deserve it, especially that Julio. He's always a shit talker. But yeah, no, he goes through and talks about all the intricacies of the photography and how it relates to what you're trying to do.
I watched most of those streams. Yeah, those were
good. They're good,
very
right?
Informative.
Yeah. But for those of you out there in the watching this now and watching this later, you can check those out too on Chris's channel. It is Red Sun, spelled R3D5UNZ, which is a weird way to find it. Yeah, I know. Chris Pabs. It's not his fault. He started it early.
Oh, what? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to go into what I say it is, but
that's the weird thing about photography, Kyle, is like it's one of those question heavy subject matters, but once you kind of clear it all up, like it's super easy or specific and direct, but it's all that initial thingy. Yeah, it's one of those topics. It's a questionable topic.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Julio just wants them to bite him.
At last.
Yo. Is my microphone working? I just want to make sure everything's working.
Yeah, you're fabulous.
Hi, how are you guys? Sorry I'm so late. Holy moly.
Okay. Welcome.
Wow. How are you guys? You okay?
Yeah, we're good. We're just shooting the shit. We're just hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah.
Good. I can't apologize enough. I've just been with family, so and the whole time zone thing, I can only apologize. I obviously need to grow up and learn to be an adult, because I was completely...
Is it like 9 p.m. for you right now?
No, it's not too bad. It's 7 p.m. But I didn't realize that the clocks moved.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't even know until I woke up that had happened. Like wasn't even aware of it. The phone was on one time, the wall clocks are on another time. I'm like, shit.
It happened.
I didn't know until Brian told me, because the clocks haven't changed over here. So I was still like operating on whatever.
Right.
But yeah. Thank you so much for holding it down and everything else. Thank you for being here.
There's a few rowdies in the chat, but we got them under control.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
The usual rowdies.
Right.
Oh wow.
It's a good thing. So we've done a bunch of scrolling through the Facebook page. We talked about a bunch of the current builds that are going on and just kind of answering a couple of questions with the community. There was a couple of questions that were more geared towards your understanding of what's going down with particulars. So like there was a question from Plain Reese about the junior division. If we could extrapolate a little bit on what's going down with the junior division, if we could. I was like, exactly. I had the same answer.
I can try. Right. Well, the junior division at the moment, it's difficult to know who's entering it and how popular it's going to be. Hopefully it'll get a few entrants. At the moment it seems quiet, but I always say that, and then I get an influx of emails of people entering. It's very surprising. So I'm not entirely sure. I mean, if you know any junior builders that are taking part, just encourage them to show what they're working on in the Facebook group. I mean, they don't have to. Some people are shy sometimes, aren't they, about showing what they're doing. I know Gav was sponsoring someone from Australia, right? So we know at least one person's taking part in the junior division.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right.
I think there's some more too.
Right now too, right? I mean, this is school time for most kids until summer in the northern hemisphere kind of hits.
True.
So there's going to be some of that, I would say. Maybe by June, July timeframe, you're going to see a lot more pop up, I would think.
Mm-hmm. I think it can be quite intimidating to try and build something original from scratch when you are either new to a hobby or you don't have a lot of experience. It's quite a challenging feat for a lot of people who've been doing this for a long time to come up with an original concept. I think it's quite a daunting feeling. But yeah,
it is one of the more challenging things in life to do, is to come up with something original.
Definitely.
Difficult on that level.
The group as well, it seems like there's so many amazing builds taking place at the moment. It'd be quite intimidating for a lot of people to, jump in on that. There's so many wonderful people taking part this year. But don't let it deter you. Everybody stay positive. There's so much, lots of prizes to give away for all kinds of things. You know, don't worry.
Well, yeah, and when we went through and looked at the posts that have been put on the page, definitely we've looked at every person, and there's good quality work going on in every single post that's in there. So like John is saying, be positive and don't stress out your own self. Like, don't start putting roadblocks in front of yourself that don't exist. So just share your work, be honest with your enjoyment of the hobby, and just enjoy it. Yeah, just be honest about the thing and share it, and everyone will participate with you. And if you need help, don't hesitate to ask any of us, any of the people in the community, or any of us here or whatever. It's good to talk about shit. So it's where problems start, when people stop talking.
I've seen one or two people comment and said that they were starting their entries again because they didn't feel like they were up to scratch with everyone else. But don't try and compare yourself to other people, because you'll forever run up against a brick wall. There's so many talented people out there. It will always it'll take the wind out of your sails if you constantly compare yourself to someone who's been doing this for 15, 20 years. You're not going to match up to their experience level. They started where you are now. So don't think you need to keep starting over, because I think if you keep starting over, you'll never get. I don't know if either of you I know you're artists, aren't you? And sometimes when you're working on something, it'll look like trash for ages, and then you'll just hit a point where you think, oh wow, it actually looks good now. Sometimes it takes hours and hours to get to that point, days. So don't give up at every time.
A couple things here. It's been said that everything looks like shit until it doesn't. I've said that. You can quote me on that. Everything looks like shit until it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I started saying that back when I was a skateboarder doing skateboard tricks, making shit up. So and another thing is that you don't, everyone is on the same level as Mike Rinaldi here. It's been said recently on podcasts that I listen to, and it's that you're just at a different point along the line. So we're all kind of on the same level. It's just you're on the same level as Mike.
Zero level.
Exactly. So, but Mike was there too. I was there too. John was there too.
I'm still there.
Well, we are.
I'm still there.
The rest of us started at zero.
So don't stress about being level 150. Work on being the best level 20 that you can.
Absolutely.
And that's how you get. That's how we all
Julio
get.
makes it actually. In between his comments, he makes a really good point. Is it helped to build a world around his entry? In other words, he was developing a backstory, and sometimes it depends on how we kind of create stuff. Some of us go from just the pure form of the shape, and then some of us are detailed. Some of us are story based. So you have to kind of find also what is that shot out of the cannon for you. What is it that does that for you? And so Julio's comment is, he built a story. He built the backstory for. Some of you may need that. Some of you don't need it. So it's going to be kind of your person. Like Patty Cakes he's saying it's very intimidating. So you got to find kind of what, and it's as a person who learned to draw in school, that white sheet of paper and a pencil freaks you out. You're like what the fuck? You're like, I can't come up with anything. So you have to find that one thing, whether it's movies, films, the world outside. I don't know. And then usually you're okay after that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
To continue on the sort of drawing analogy, for me, whenever I'm faced with that ominous blank page, which it is, I try to add a few more pages to it. So there's a bunch of ominous pages, and then I just start to just kind of move it around and figure things out, throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. It doesn't have to be a Picasso, or maybe not Picasso, but maybe bad words. Doesn't have to be like a Renoir on the first go, or whatever. It's or an Escher, it's okay.
I'm just reading Julio's comments.
yeah, he's good. Yeah, that's why Julio's one of my best friends.
I think so. Going to Reckless, talking about scratch building, first time scratch building. I think reference is the biggest part of anything, like any art. Just pull up some reference, and you might not build exactly what you see, but if you have images to work from, or just something to fuel your imagination, I think it's so much easier. I think it's incredibly frustrating when you try and sit down and make something from your imagination, because without the reference there to give you a blueprint, you are just fumbling around in the dark, and you might find something that looks incredible, but it might take you like 8 to 10 hours. Whereas if you had reference, it might take 8 to 10 minutes. So reference is, huge. You're not stealing people's ideas. Everybody uses reference. Everybody.
Yeah,
absolutely. And if you're looking at the way a different builder, like say, let's take Luca's books, for example, because some of them are prizes. Mm-hmm. You can look at the way that Luca approaches a problem or a situation. It's not necessarily a problem. I mean, that's a generic term for it. A condition that he's trying to overcome with his model, like a situation. So he approaches it in a certain way and uses certain items and certain design skills to do this. And you can learn your own way through watching what he does through his books or looking at different tutorials online, like Mike's tutorials online for painting. You can, and emulating those things, you learn your own way to approach the problems. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely reference is super key at all times.
Going back to reckless modeling, saying any ideas and coming up with something fresh. To totally unlock your imagination, you need to really sort of revert to a child, I think. You need to really don't be afraid to do things because it might seem embarrassing or people will laugh at you. There's a really, I can't remember where it was from, but there's this sort of analogy of asking people to describe how many uses they could come up with for a paperclip. So they had a minute and said, well, how many things can you do with this paperclip? And as adults, we think about it rationally and we think, oh, well, it can hold paper together. It can open a door, just things like that. But then kids will go completely off.
Being an adult's a roadblock.
Yeah, and kids are like, it's a spaceship. I can poke you in the eye. It just never, they can list 1,000,001 things. And I think imagination, we cap it off because we're worried what people will think. I won't do that because people will think it's, they won't like it. Just don't let that influence your design process, I guess.
Another idea, Reckless, is in the greater conversation of design and creativity, it's always problem solving. You're trying to solve a problem. What you can maybe try to do if you're getting stuck is maybe create a problem and then figure out a way to solve it, and that through the use of a robot machine. And I was thinking this because I watched Hathaway's Flash for the third or fourth time the other day, and there's that scene where they're firefighting and the robots are repurposed for firefighting. Come up with a problem and then come up with a machine that's going to solve the problem. It's kind of just a basic foundation of like what the paperclip analogy is of what can you do with that? And that might unlock some things as well too, by the way, come up with something. It helps, something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody thinks differently. Some are engineers, some are really creative people, some are color people, some are shapes. You guys are looking for shapes in your come up with stuff. So it's just kind of half a dozen of one, 6, 7, 8.
It's like when you see really cool scratch builders who use a lot of everyday objects like pencil sharpeners and things. They can just see the shapes, can't they?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, there was a dude that's like die-cast cars and hardware store stuff. It's a foot.
Yeah.
Wait, how'd that happen? Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I have no idea, like what you guys have covered and stuff, and I feel like I've come into this super.
No, honestly, no. You're as unprepared or as prepared as we were. So.
Well, you got me for about 10 more minutes, and I've got to bail. So I've got something. So we'll overlap and then let you take it. Yeah, we'll do more of these, John. Don't worry about it. We'll do more. So we're fine.
Yeah. I really appreciate you. Firstly, thank you so much for being part of the competition. I feel like I've not spoken to you, but yeah, thank you so much.
We've never met, by the way.
Yeah,
we don't know each other yet.
But no,
outside the internet.
Thank you so much for being part of the competition. It means a great deal because you are an extremely, experienced, motivational, positive person in the community.
Experience comes with the gray hairs.
Who's dedicated a lot of time and effort to helping other people, but sharing your knowledge. But also taking part in this and helping be a judge is a big deal. Yeah. It brings a lot of authenticity to the competition because having people like yourself who well-known figures in scale modeling and in other areas, it means a great deal because I appreciate it's your free time and if we could pay you or give you something, then we would.
No, you're good.
But thank you so much.
Yeah, it's just a pleasure to be here.
No, it's great, and I'm excited for you to see the end results because I already know that this year's looking really good. A lot of the entries are looking really cool already, and it's a pleasure to sort of ship them out to you guys as judges to have a look, because I feel like I say a pleasure, but also I don't envy you having to make the decisions, because it's so. Every year I get judges, and everybody picks something different. Nobody it goes completely in different ways than I thought it would. People will pick things I didn't think would be in the top 5, which doesn't mean they shouldn't be, but just shows that we all have different preferences. We all look for different things. So
yeah. Nice part about having judges is that you can put all the amazing work in front of those judges, and then they can pick through it.
Yeah, then I can't be held responsible for what happens. But, it's
oh geez,
it feels crazy, because I'm sure, I don't know what you've sort of spoken about, but for the competition to get to where it is now, it feels crazy. Like some days I don't know what's going on, but that's just because we're humans and we have got other things going on in life. Like the last couple of weeks for me have been absolutely mental with work and life and family, so it's been really hard to keep track of everything.
Alexa, stop. Sorry.
It's all right. And it's really, I really appreciate when you guys pick up the slack and help out and do so much. So I don't take it for granted. So I appreciate you holding it down.
Scrolled through the page, right, Brian? We just scrolled through what was up.
Yeah,
on
and
Facebook
we talked shop
mostly.
and talked about building stuff and answered some questions. We talked about some simple things
some
like
chemical conversations and stuff.
Yeah, talked a little bit about paint. Yeah, a little bit about putty.
It's great, and what I implore people,
we're model builders. We talk about whatever.
I implore people to go onto both of your channels and stuff. Not that they need me to tell them, but there's there's so much resources out there, especially like all your books, Rinaldi, and there's so many things out there for them to pull information from and learn. I feel, there you go.
We're all students all the time. That's how. Just never stop learning. All that stuff. Thank you, Brian.
Of course, more shameless plugs, my brother. Anytime.
Yeah. No, appreciate it.
I'll be back in one sec.
Okay.
You're good. You're good.
No, do your thing. Yeah, when he comes back, I'm gonna have to bounce, but that's just because.
Of course. Yeah, no. Thank you for again. Yeah. We've said enough, but yeah, thanks for your.
Well, we'll get
time
Luca if you're still out there, Luca. We'll get you whenever your schedule is a little bit more convenient, and maybe towards middle of the summer, early summer, we can all do this one more time. Maybe a month or two, whatever, Brian, whatever you want to come up with. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of depends a little bit on the community too. Like if we're seeing more questions or more commentary popping up in the community that needs to be addressed, then we'll schedule another live stream sooner. Sure. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. It's not like we're trying to shove anything down anyone's throats. It's just part of
No. And I like the fact that at least with this show in particular, usually contests are like, a month and a half, 2 months, but it was almost a year when you asked me a year ahead of time. So it's almost a full loop of a calendar to get everything done for everybody. So this is, in terms of a contest, this is a little bit, you have a lot of that time. There is time here, guys. So don't feel if you're struggling, start 2 or 3 of them, see which one goes, that whole thing, however works, whatever.
There you go.
Oh, cheers. Yeah, everybody got their book. Little books here. Look, I got one too. There it is right there. It's right behind me.
I'm just showing that I'm preaching about picking up these things as resources. I'm just trying to show that I actually have them too.
Yeah, sweet. No, I love it. I love it.
Also,
when did I do this one? 2017.
I have Luca's otter.
Oh, nice.
That is this is for the competition.
You got the otter. Nice.
Yes.
So this is for the pro division.
I was so impressed how fast he banged that. I know he's working on these things and he's got his new one. I'm so impressed at the speed at which he can create these things.
It's nuts.
You know what I mean?
So this one's a prize.
That seemed like it happened in a month.
Yeah. It's crazy. And
it just got released in a month.
Yeah, I know, but still.
This, two
okay, nice.
2 of these bad boys to give away, which
that's very nice.
A sign wrong way.
Schnabelgund.
Which is signed for OMC 2022.
Beautiful.
That's a chunky boy.
So,
yeah, it's so interesting because the model itself is such a very kind of condensed. I have the Bauer. It's teeny,
isn't it?
I've got the little mini.
Oh wow!
Which is I'm painting that one, but it's the same in the poster. Yeah.
Cool. So we need to do more prize announcements at some point. I think when the dust settles on life, we'll get a lot more posts done on Facebook and
Rodolfo, hello. Rodolfo, how are you?
Rodolfo, grand champion of 2021.
Right?
Yeah.
Another
What a
one
guy.
who's always, his work always impresses me tremendously.
It looks like he's already finished his entry.
Yeah, he's always rolling fast, that guy.
I think he's got a whole, Rodolfo's got a whole new website now. I think he put his whole entry for 2022 on a whole new website.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's quick.
So yeah, here's more.
You're welcome, Mick.
There's another
Yep, see you
Luca
later,
book.
books right there.
The 2301, the sketchbook, hardcover sketchbook.
Mm-hmm.
They unfortunately don't print the Abacans in hardcover anymore for whatever reason. Probably it's too complicated or hard to get a hold of. And then the Nothing But Mechs, 2 through 4.
Full of them.
Yep, amazing work all around. To win for amazing prizes from our fucking fabulous sponsors. It's amazing, man. Blows my mind.
So many.
All right, Mike.
Well, we'll throw some. I know I haven't talked about it, but what we'll do is we'll throw some RSP stuff in there too, John. Don't worry about it. We got some stuff coming.
shit.
By the time this stuff hits, I think we'll have some new prizes that we can announce later in the summertime.
There's definitely no rush, but any prize donations are extremely.
Absolutely. No, I probably should have said something earlier, but yeah.
No. Honestly, I feel bad.
I feel like I have to now.
Yeah. Just like
No,
Tintin.
man.
I'm gonna do little robot drawings in mine, like Luca. I'm gonna draw like little stick figures and be like, "Hey,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
love
he
that.
does. Yeah.
I'd love that. Yeah, I feel bad asking anybody for anything. So asking you to be a judge, we wouldn't want to ask you to donate or be anything
You
else.
don't have to.
No, it's always understood. So,
Um,
we'll get some
Well
stuff.
then.
Cool.
We'll add to the pile.
There's quite a lot of prizes being sent to me and Brian to dispatch and deal with and pass on. The one thing I wanted to say was thank you to all the Patreon people that have been sponsoring the competition and supporting it. I keep saying I'm going to announce, this is what you get, and there's other things, and there is actually some things to give away. It's just rather than doing it now, I'll make a proper post about it, and the money from that will be going into the cash prizes this year. And I thought about making it more public about how much money comes in and how it goes out, so then people can understand that the money that comes in all goes out, rather than them thinking I've got a new Audi TT or a Ferrari on my drive.
The Patreon money. Is it 1/35 scale or 1 to 24 scale? Sorry,
But just so they can see that the money's definitely 1,000% going into the competition, which it is. I don't do this to make a living. The stuff on the floor is literally I'm transitioning potentially into a new job, so that's where I make my money. I don't make it through. This is for everybody else and for the community to come together.
Amen.
If this was like my living, I feel like I'd have shown up on time and it would have been organized a lot better.
Good. It's all good.
But
speaking of guys, hey, I do have to run though, so I'm gonna have to say goodbye.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Mike.
Yeah,
appreciate you,
John. We'll catch you soon on the next one and all that.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you for everything. And hopefully we'll get to chat a little bit more. I'll make sure I'm here on time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, brother.
Have a good one.
You bet. Thank you, Brian. Talk to you soon, guys.
See ya. I'm like this. I'm working at the speed of light because I feel like I'm so behind.
Dude, I know you're all right. It's okay. Don't worry.
I'll take a breath.
That's the thing. Like it's not a sprint. It's a marathon, my brother. And this is just the number 2 live stream.
Yeah.
We can have as many live streams as you want to have. It's all good, bro. No stress. We're gonna have more for sure, as Mike said, and we're gonna try to get Luca on, and maybe we can get some other people on too. I know that I spoke with True Gumpla, Joel's another friend of mine.
Joel's a legend.
Yeah, he's hilarious and awesome, and he's gonna come through and hang out on one of our live streams and talk about stuff. And
Joel and like True Gumpla and the Cutting Mac podcast literally made last year's competition so huge with the donations and stuff. It's crazy, And everybody. I mean, don't get me wrong, other sponsors donated so much, but those guys didn't have to do it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, nobody has to, but they just wanted to help the competition, and without people's generosity like that, it wouldn't be where it is. Like your time as well, Brian.
I'm always doing this stuff. It's my pleasure.
Where should we take it from here? So you've gone through the Facebook group, I guess, and looked
Yeah. We scroll through the Facebook group back to where did I get to? We went back to about just the beginning of the month, really, not super far. Oh, we got just before we got to Alexandria's. Mecha, good stuff. I mean, they're all Mecha, but yeah, definitely seeing a few.
I feel so bad because usually in the past years I've commented on every single post that goes through the group. And unfortunately, like I said, the last couple of weeks have been quite tough for me. And I barely been active in the group. But I have been able to sometimes see what people have been doing, and it blows me away. I want to say thank you as well to everybody who does things like this, who shares tips and tricks and videos of things that they've done and how they build and make things. I think that's just as important as seeing people's progress.
I never answered this.
No, you didn't. What was your
fucking terrible. Okay, so my answer to this would have been, I'm just going to put this in the back burner for a second. So if you have a rotary tool or a drill, right, and a small screw and nut. So you're going to need a small screw, which is going to be maybe a little bit harder to find. But if you take the screw and you put it through the hole in the end of the pen nib or the pen tip, and then put the nut on the backside of it, and then what is good, you chuck it, you grip it with your drill or your Dremel, and then turn that on really low. It turns it into a mini lathe because the screw or the bolts and the nut hold it in tension, and then it allows you to use
describe it out.
Yeah, then you can just like place a file or an abrasive onto the points and then make your various lines, and you can make them all in the same point, in the same same way, very repeatable. It's really hard. I see what that person or that builder was doing. I think they were just actually applying them to the pen and then using the pen to hold on to it, which is great. Makes great sense. But like, yeah, it gets to be very tedious and very hard, especially I'm not getting any younger and I got gigantic fucking hands, so it's like hard for me to do that.
Huge, like my hands are absolutely huge.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's wild, right?
Yeah,
like yeah.
I use that as an excuse to myself when I'm doing something with like that's very intricate and maybe scribing. I say to myself, "You just got big hands. Don't worry about it. It's fine."
Yeah,
Yeah.
You just have to be a little bit more delicate.
Have a handicap of giant hands,
dude. Right? This is a vision. Next year.
I feel like I should leave this wrapped up because it's nice and neatly packaged. Yeah.
Unless you want to. Yeah. We can get
like I said,
photos.
Lucas signed it and put congratulations, you're an OMC Pro now, which is great. And so that's, like I said, so many things to announce and talk about, and I feel like I'm so far behind. Usually I'm quite good and on top of things. So
hey, it's okay. We can, like I said, if you want, we can just do another live stream when we both have a chance to do a little bit more prep, maybe a little bit further down the road.
The problem with Luca not being able to come today was my fault because I asked if we could change the stream day, and he had a convention, I believe. So I kind of threw him out of the loop. It was my fault because it was all scheduled to happen, wasn't it?
It's all right.
Yeah,
you got to be flexible, man.
Yeah, I guess so. And I felt bad. I felt really bad. It would have been great to have Luca on as well. I'm so glad that Michael was on. He's a great guy.
Yeah. Agreed. Cool. Absolutely. And we'll have Luca. Maybe we can, I don't know what Link's schedule's like. Maybe we can get Lincoln or that leaves us with
there's Tom. I don't know how good his English is. He's from Japan. I could ask him and see.
I've been having trouble finding his work online to share with people. Some people have been asking about it. So.
He's awesome, isn't he? So he's got an Instagram page and he's got a website. I can pull it up now and send it to you if you want to put it on the screen. Like I could get them for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bear with me and I will get it. Any interesting questions that I've missed?
You answered one of them. Another one was Planneries was asking about talking about potentially the t-shirts that we have up on
that's essentially Gavin's store, and it's to help him out with because he does the artwork for the competition every year free of charge. I tried to send him things, so I sent him one of the trophies, which I think is fair. and tried to send him stuff. But yeah, so it's to help him out, and the designs and stuff are great. I hope that's just sent them as 3 links. Sorry, I just sent them to you in the private chat.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, Plainaries was just wanting to mention it to everybody. Did that work?
No, it's just to mention it. Gotcha. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I feel like I need to say thank you to the moderators and yourself for keeping the enthusiasm going in the group. You know, sometimes it's when I've been able to look into the group but not been commenting on a lot of things. Time has been against me lately. Boom.
Cool. There's the Instagram that should pop up on both YouTube and on Twitch.
He's so talented. Like the stuff he makes is out of paper as well. It's just nuts. I don't know how he does it.
It's an art, man, and it's an old school technique that's been going down for a long time. Paper modeling. A lot of guys do it. Apparently,
For such a young guy, though, his skill is really impressive. Not that age should determine how good you are, but what I'm saying is, you know, sometimes it takes experience and time to get to the point where he's at right now. But he's only a young dude. It's a young dude. We should try and... I'll ask him if he wants to come on a live stream. Like I said, I don't know how good his English is when I've communicated with him, but might be up for it.
Yeah, he's welcome to. They're all of the judges and any sponsors or whatever that want to come on, we can definitely bring them on and talk shop, talk contest, talk community, whatever, you know.
So if we go to, obviously I appreciate you've been live streaming now for about an hour and 40, so you don't have to do this for too much longer. If we go back to the group, do you have like a favorite entry so far or something that's piqued your interest? I appreciate they're all in work in progress stage.
Yeah. Do I have one that is this particular build is very interesting, just for a level of complexity. I look forward to seeing where this one is going. The one from...
I feel like that would also be I agree. That build is absolutely amazing. Right, good night, Reckless. Take it easy. I feel as though it would be a nightmare to paint, but also
I know.
quite exciting to paint as well.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, no, I have a giant Gundam build, the Sentinel, that I've been working on that has like the biggest ridiculous backpack. It's an XS smashed with a Deep Striker, and with a bunch of crazy mods and a bunch of extra shit. So I'm not looking forward to painting that. Thank God GBWC isn't around right now, because I'd have to work on it. Yeah, for like faves, I mean, this one is great for sculpt. Like the level of detail and attention to symmetry is fabulous for sculpting. I don't really have any one particular. Like, you know, Peter's is great. This whole like where this has gone to.
I absolutely adore Peter's build, mainly because I feel like the OCD in me appreciates how clean it is, because it feels as though he's cleaning as he's building. Everything fits together perfectly. You know, as soon as he primes it, he's not going to really need to do much cleanup after that. It's just going to be onto the painting process. So I really like where Peter's build's heading. I feel like that's going to be a really, like, the one to watch this year so far. Obviously, there's Rodolfo's already finished mech.
It's way down.
And that thing's obviously crazy. And I'd be remiss to say that it isn't amazing. It's so difficult because we're only like a month in,
right?
Like it's March and that thing looks finished. I appreciate that Rodolfo says it takes him a long time to paint, and looking at his paint jobs and how intricate they are and the attention to detail is one thing.
This one's come a long way. Yeah,
if you go to, like, I sometimes just click on the images on the recent media and I just cycle through those sometimes.
What? This is witchery. I don't even I am so old when it comes to some of these things. Recent media.
Oh, if you just scroll down on the right hand side a little bit, well, you know, it says about. There'll be recent media below about on the right hand side. Down, a bit more on the right hand side.
Oh, this is the left hand side.
Yeah,
there we go.
There, recent media. If you click on see all, then it just gives you all the images.
Oh well, shit! You learn something new every day.
And then you can just, instead of looking at the post, like it'll take you to the post, but it just gives you an idea of what's popping off recently in the group.
Gotcha. You can just go and check out. Okay, so there's more than just a foot. There's a Lego, and this is actually pretty sizable for this. Yeah, because if that's a regular Tamiya orange, is that a PG foot?
I have no idea. I'm so out of the loop.
No, that's cool.
I like what they've done with the kneecap. I like that. I think that's cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. The extras. Yeah, exactly. The design's nice.
Do you know who? Right. So another build that AB Cruz. He does a lot of styrene building. You'll see his cockpit somewhere eventually.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, that guy's nuts. There you go. There, that stuff. He's crazy. I don't know why or how he does this stuff. Like out of just styrene. Like it's tiny. Yep. The fact that he's put a lot of detail into just that part of the build, and he's probably going to make a massive thing. It's inspiring stuff. He made in last year. He made that's a cool one too. That one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
The wrong way. Shit.
Last year he made a sniper rifle sort of gun that moved around, didn't it? And it had bullets that he'd made, and they slotted in. It had a spring mechanism in it. It was crazy.
Let's see. Yeah, we touched on this this crazy build as well.
It's nuts. Just seeing that. I can't wait to see it in Primer. That's the question. That's the point of which I would really like to see that.
Yeah, exactly. Once it's all harmonized in that single tone.
It's seeing past it all, isn't it? Because when you build something like that, on the surface, it might look ugly because of all the random parts and colors, but just looking at the shape language of it, you just know when it's in Primer, it's going to look really, really good. Really good. The Marks looks quite good. Looks dynamic. It's the one there, that one with the red and black that's jumping around kind of thing. He's working on that at the moment. I feel like Marks will be a really good one to watch.
Oh wow, nice.
To be fair, I enjoy watching all of them. Hi, Luca. Where are you? I feel so bad for making it so you couldn't be there. I was showing off the otter for the competition, Luca, and I was saying thank you so much for donating it. And I was showing off so there's 2 of these posters from Luca to give away. One will go with the otter to the pro winner, and there's other things to give away as well. But yeah, thank you so much, Luca, and I hope you've had a good weekend. I'm sorry that we changed the day on you at the last minute. That's my fault. So yeah, I'll not do that again.
Yeah, we'll do more. Luca, we'll get it squared out to where we're all free together and be able to sit down and have another conversation. No problem.
Absolutely. I think for some people it'd just be nice to have Luca, Michael, and Link and other judges, Tom.
Yeah.
Comment on entries. I mean, I can shoot out to Frederick Doust and see if he wants to. If he wants to join, he's an artist by nature. He's not necessarily a model builder, but he is. Right. But we brought him in because of his artistic skill and his sheer experience. He's such an amazing artist. Look at that. Who's done that?
I love this. Right, so many pieces.
I like the number of plastic pieces in the background on the styrene.
No, here's this is an excellent establishing shot. Just
that's kind of like how everyone's desk looks. Like that is how it looks when you're building something. There's just stuff everywhere.
No, you're absolutely right. And Mike and I actually had a little conversation back and forth where his desk is actually like more like a light box where it's all white and pristine and everything. And my desk is definitely that.
Oh, I already know. Like Luca's desk is like a bomb's gone off.
I think it fluctuates.
Yeah, well, no, he cleans very frequently, Luca. I'm sure. Like he has his little drainage thing with the fan, so he can sand into that on the desk, which is such a good idea. Such a great idea. But I feel like my OCD would flip out when I watch Luca build and make things. I just feel like he's so messy, but then the end result is so good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That looks like something from Alien or like Predator. You know, that sort of
a little
like
bit
design.
Yeah, has a little bit of that vibe to it. I like it a lot, actually. This is a lot of fun. Something I like them all.
You know, that's taking a step away from trying to be really clean and you know, your traditional Gundam style mech, and into something that would probably be more realistic, something that could be a functioning you know, robot in the real world.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be the cleanest, you know, it's not about making the cleanest built mecha. It's about
like you can look at that and you can see parts and think it seems functional. It seems although it looks a little bit haphazard, it looks like things were placed intentionally. You know, and yeah, Chris, I have a lot of Super Dry t-shirts. I happen to like the way they fit. I order smalls, so they make me look bigger.
Oh, Luca's just back from the Well, welcome back from the convention, Luca. I'm sure you're exhausted.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
I've asked Luca if he will adopt me as his son, and I think he was going to block me at that point.
Interesting. Interesting. Is this what's just this one?
Did you see the Mecha Buffalo?
Like this. Oh yeah, I don't have. We'll get to it. It's up at the top. Let me go up to it.
I love it.
Yeah, Mike and I were picking out different parts on it. Here
I love it. There it is. Is it Raphael who made it?
I don't know offhand, but yeah, Raphael.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's really good. I love that. I'm a big Zoids guy. Like, I like Zoids. Maybe not like super fan, but I always like is it D Bison? You know, the
Interesting. I'm not familiar with Zoids almost at all. I remember them from the 80s. Yeah, I remember them from the 80s when I was a kid. And then I remember they rehashed with like Cell Animation a cartoon like in the 2000s maybe. But it all kind of missed me. Like the toys and the models were far too expensive back in the day for me to be able to attain. And then you know, I'm in America, so.
Well, imagine being over in the UK. There's barely anything over here. There's nothing.
Dude, I've heard, yeah. It's actually pretty bad.
The craziest thing is a guy from England sort of put this competition together. I think that's the craziest thing ever, because there's nothing like this. I don't even know. There are a few people from the UK that take part, but honestly, it's like 1 or 2%, if that, like, who take part. There are Gunpla groups though in England. There's UK Gunpla modelers, and Simon's a big advocate of Gunpla and stuff. And he's a great guy.
Simon's good. Yep.
He's a lovely guy. Yeah, really nice dude. And I want to see him take part because I feel like he'd do really well. I think he'd do great.
Very much so. I have a friend of mine over there, John Mallinson, English Otaku.
Oh yeah,
he's he a builder and creative educator. Good guy. He's getting into it. He's coming around on his stuff. Once again, it comes into a little bit of that confidence thing where people don't feel like they can do that, which I think is just crazy because anybody can do anything.
Absolutely. I've just tried to link something to you. I'm so sorry. I think it messed up. There we go.
Where? What? No, hold up.
That's the D Bison I wanted to show you.
Do you want me to pop it in the chat, or do you just want me to take a look at it?
You can pop it in the chat if you want. I'm easy. I'm just basically comparing it to the bull.
Oh, no. I totally see what you're talking about. Hang on a second.
But the thing is, Raphael said he's been inspired by Horizon. But he reminded me a lot of this. And I'm not saying it's the same thing. I'm just saying it reminded me of it. So I'm not trying to take anything away from Raphael's design.
No, and it's not.
If you look hard enough, you'll always find something that looks like something else.
Right. But no, this is cool. This is fun. But this is actually very simplified. If you look at what Raphael's building, it's like beyond.
Yeah.
It's a whole different beast.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Nice.
For lack of a better term, it's a whole different beast.
It's as popular as the competition is, I sometimes feel like Facebook isn't always the best place for it, and I don't know where else it could live. like I used to love the forums and I used to love things like that, and I don't know if anyone has time for those things anymore.
No, absolutely
Looking
right.
forward, though, it'd be nice to see what people think where the competition could be held, because I feel like a standalone website, I don't know if it would be as popular.
It doesn't get enough traffic, or it's hard to get enough traffic through there, or to that's the convenient thing about using Facebook as that base platform, is that it is easy to reach a fairly decent sized audience. A lot of people use it, so
yeah. And like so you can just pull your phone out, flip onto Facebook, whip into the group.
Right.
So
well, I guess we could tie. I mean, we could tie it into Twitter. The Twitter modeling sphere is intense and vast. So it's almost like it would be a way to add a different avenue to it, but and maybe I guess I would. So it seems to be, no offense to the the Instagram users and the Facebook users as a whole, but it seems like the modelers on Twitter tend to be a little bit more professional or a little bit more serious about the things that they post. I do see fun stuff. I see people posting jokey Gundam stuff, this, that, and the other. But a lot of the scale modelers that I follow or that I that I interact with are like some pretty hardcore modelers. So
I think like you said, I think they're across many different platforms, aren't they? You get people who are extremely professional on sort of all platforms. I try not to be on too much social media. That's my thing. Like I wouldn't be on Instagram if it wasn't for the OMC's account that we made, just to try and help spread the word for the competition. And it's not for me. It's to try and help promote the competition, get the word out on sponsors, judges, and promote people's work. Speak of Simon, and he will.
We literally just talking about Simon.
Literally just said, "Hey, maybe Simon should take part," and there he is. What a guy!
Yeah.
To be honest with Peter, I miss forums too, and I just don't know how I had time for forums back in the day, because I could spend an hour, 2 hours on a forum, And what I do, I'd get like a hot drink, like a cup of tea, and I'd look at all the whip threads of people's stuff that I'd not, when you can see the ones that I've got a new post or that you haven't opened, whatever, and I'd work my way through them, and I remember thinking, like, I was really proud of my number of posts. Do you know, like?
Yes, I do know. Yeah, I used to be part of the replica prop forum, and same way. And I would put hours and hours and hours into whip posts, writing these like long descriptive things and tagging all these photos and doing all this shit, and then and then it just like I just stopped. It all just kind of like went to the wayside, right? Kind of like I mean, I think that some of that stuff still exists, right? It has to, or I don't know.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does on some level. And I think we're just being really ignorant, and probably forums are still around. Maybe we're just too elitist. We're too good.
Oh man! How droll! Yes. Oh, just fucking straight dab. No, all right.
I mean,
man.
maybe as like a pilot, I should try and add like a little forum part to the website or something, and not make it overly complicated. Maybe just have it as like just a whip section for people to put whip stuff. I don't know, and just see how it goes. It doesn't have to have like a million different topics and threads and spaces.
No, I feel like the more complicated some of these things get, the less inviting it is for interaction.
Yeah,
like
and because the competition's so straightforward. Build an original mech. I suppose you wouldn't need loads of extra categories for like military and stuff, because at the end of the day, it's just,
and we don't need like what are you eating? We don't need like memes. We don't need
yeah. I used to as well with forums. There was a drama as well. There was always drama. There was somebody saying something that nobody.
You, sir, are woefully out of the loop.
Why?
Just listen to some of our podcasts.
Oh, really?
We don't always talk about drama, but we do have some commentary on certain things.
I openly admit I am way out of the loop in scale modeling and genuinely Mecha. Like, I feel like for the person at the head of this ship, I'm just steering us into an iceberg. Like, I have no idea what's going on. But that's why you guys are here. You keep me in track.
Yeah, here we go. No blog posts. It's just
the
old forums with no blog posts.
Forums were how I learned about scale modeling. I don't think YouTube was as big back then, although I've learned a lot from video, like YouTube and stuff.
Sure. Well, no, you're right. Like it used to be more complicated to put videos onto YouTube. It was, it wasn't just what that was. It wasn't just like you could shoot a video on your phone and upload it from your phone to YouTube. It used to be, filming and then editing and doing all this stuff, processing, putting it, uploading it through your computer. So I think now the instant stuff changes.
I think as well the desire to share things has changed, because back in the day, again I could be wrong, but back in the day with Gundam and Gunpla stuff and other things, the sort of high-end Japanese modelers and things, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it was difficult to figure out, like there weren't many people sharing. I remember big thing was those was it Hobby Japan videos where they'd go to they'd give a kit to somebody, like a pro modeler, and then they'd do stuff with it, and then it was formatted like a square. I can't remember what it was called. Wait, do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
Somebody out there's got to know what I'm talking about. I still have them. I still have them on my computer.
Oh.
Bear with me.
Let's see, Peter. Yeah, I assume that the RPF was still around. You could probably still go and find my old prop weaponry builds if you were interested. What did I go by? Machinist Psycho, I think was my name. It was back when I was just doing metalworking almost exclusively, so just getting back into modeling, making scale stuff at all.
Okay, so can I share my screen?
Yes.
I feel like we're going to get copyrighted. I don't think we will. I don't think we're going to get copyrighted. It'll be fine.
I'm not.
Wait,
I mean,
if I share my screen, I better be careful what I'm sharing.
Here's the deal. If there's an issue, what they'll do is they'll just stop the stream on us.
Yeah.
So...
Wait, Simon knows what I'm talking about. That thing. Plamo Tsukuro.
Tsukuru? Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, right. Let me show you. This is back in the day. I just feel like we need a blast from the past, right? Share.
We'll do it. We'll time it. I think we can get away with 15 seconds.
Yeah. Right. Window. This. Bam.
And add it to stream.
Okay. So this was like you'd watch this and be like, whoa, how did he do that? Like, this was back in the day teaching us how to build. Let me just speed it up a little bit. So they give him a model, he's like a pro, and then he'd sit down and show you like,
and then it flashes through different references and stuff. This is cool.
Yeah,
and
like,
showing,
this
like
is
the
how
adding
you do textures.
Right.
And...
Oh, cool. Because he does armor modeling as well. This is very cool. I think as long as we talk over it, we're not going to get in any trouble.
As long as I get into the sound. But this stuff was like a gold mine back in the day, because it was hardly any information like this around. And like nowadays, this all seems like really simple stuff to, I don't know, find or pick up.
Exactly.
But like, how cool.
Yeah, it's quite accessible, but here's the deal also. These things like this are still incredibly valuable. So having this as a resource is still, really great. Even though like, you can go and see any Johnny Come Lately on YouTube posting, chip weathering or whatever, like these are, like this guy's just going town.
I can't quite, like, I obviously it needs some translation. You're kind of just guessing what's happening.
Right. I mean, I can see
the quality. Here he goes with his Dremel. I mean, the quality is. There
you go. Just showing a little bit of. Yeah, it's chipping through. Through the putty and stuff.
It's absolutely decimating this thing. But
of course,
some of them were so good. Anyway, I'll stop.
No, that's great. I think that's absolutely amazing. Well done. Thank you for sharing that. That's cool stuff. I wonder if it's out there. I wish they meet you.
I have folders upon folders of tutorials and videos for scale model building. Like, did you guys know? Here's a bit of, you probably will, Brian, because you're a geek. But did you guys know that Luca had a video series of how he paints his models that you can go and buy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's on Miniature Mentor. He has a series of videos. I don't think he likes it because I feel like he doesn't get much revenue from it.
No, he doesn't get any revenue from it. We've had long conversations about this already, Luca and I have.
Yeah, I remember having the conversation with him. But I remember I was in the back of a car. I don't know where I was going. And I was watching that on a laptop, and I was like listening to him so intensely, like, I want to be this good. How do I get there? And just watching him like barely talk through that video. The guy's asking him questions about his chipping process, and he's just like, "This is what I do," and says it in about 5 words. But he's so good.
It's a matter of like, if you want a good video to watch for Luca's painting process, if you're interested in some of his style, because it isn't like what I do, like for my painting style, and I don't know if it's in like, John, I've seen a handful of your work. But Lucas, his approach and his methodology is a little bit different, and it's a valuable thing to learn. So if you go to his YouTube channel, Calamity, and look up the Kiwi series, his Kiwi modeling series, he actually goes through and does like a quick customization. He doesn't really go too deep into the customization of the model itself, but he does an extremely high speed but detailed version of his painting process, and you get a chance to see the way that it can work, like a way that it can be done. So valuable shit.
Yeah, Luke is a wealth of information, isn't he? The fact that he doesn't really hide much either, he just tells you exactly what it is and how to do it.
Yeah, no pomp and circumstance, no fluff, brass tacks.
I'm just looking at all these things I've got for tutorials. There's so many.
You've opened the rabbit hole. Oh yeah, and that's like that model with earlier that we were speaking about, the one that would be very, very complicated to paint, that has like the very like Chappie-esque vibes, all of the parts and stuff. Like that seems like it's like building these mechs and like getting into this creative stuff with such a long lead time. It does allow you to really get down that rabbit hole and like go into it. Yeah.
So where do we go from here? Like, the competition this year seems like it's really gone up such a level that I feel like a lot of people will be intimidated, because I when I've logged into it, we're literally a month in, essentially. We're into March now, and there's some people who've nearly finished what looks like a finished mech, and I can tell you now, I would not be at that stage if I was taking part. Like, there's just no way. There's no way I would be up to some of the, like the thing we were just discussing, what you mentioned there about being a bitch to paint. The thing with all I would never be at that stage. Never in a million years. I'd take like the full February to October. So I feel like I don't want people to be discouraged and think, holy shit, I'm never going to compete with these guys if they've nearly finished. It's not the point.
Yeah, Mike and I touched on that a little bit earlier on in the episode. I mentioned how for Moscow, my one for 2020, I didn't start working on that until September before the competition. So, you can do an awful lot if you're dedicated to it, but if you just take the whole length of time and slowly work on your project, you shouldn't have to feel stressed about, getting to a place where you're happy with what your build is.
I think a lot of people do put a lot of pressure on themselves, which competition is about having some degree of pressure, but try to remember that it's a hobby and it's for fun. And when we say competition, at the end of the day, this is just an excuse for us to throw prizes at people and give people rewards for the hard work and stuff. And it's nice to feel like you're a champion at something, and you're winning things, because the way the world is at the minute, I think we can both agree it's a sad state of affairs, what's going on all around the world. And I'm not saying a modeling competition fixes that, not in the slightest. It's a nice distraction sometimes for people who need it. And being part of a community when sometimes you don't feel like, you might live in an area where nobody gives two shits about scale modeling or building anything or robots or and it's nice to connect with a community and just have similar interests.
Exactly.
And it pushes you to finish things, because I don't think, not everybody's like this, but a lot of scale modelers, we build backlogs like we're trying to make a castle out of boxes, and we're never going to get there to build them all. But the whole point is it's fun. It's like I enjoy buying things, and I'm thinking, when will I build that? I've no idea. But you know, like, oh wait, is that a question? Am I going to is it too late to submit my
yeah, we're not really allowing anyone to start. We can't start early. So Manny, I can't remember when you started your project, but if you started it prior to February, we can't really accept it. 'Cause it just kind of it goes outside the rules and the guidelines of the competition. And that's really like, there's so few rules and guidelines with the competition. We have to hold to the ones that we have. So it's, yeah, I know it's a whip, Manny. Just like kind of depends on when did you actually start on it? I can't remember.
Did I miss something with this comment? Know. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I was just
or
yeah. Was I just rambling on?
I said, oh, you mean Twitch for scale modeling? No, I was talking about Twitter for scale modeling. There's a tremendous amount of high-end scale modeling on. Yeah, I agree with Julio too, Manny. That is very Mecha Masume. You can do so much with all of your shit. Manny has like a crazy backlog. Like you were just talking about us building that backlog. Yeah, he got one. I do too. I have deep storage for mine. I have 13 Rubbermaid cases full of models in storage because I don't know how to spend money.
Hey, I'm the same way. Yeah. I haven't bought as many kits because I know I haven't been building. But it's like in my head, it's like my retirement backlog. Like when I'm in a position where work's not so much killing me and sapping my time, I really cannot wait for the day I do retire. I mean, we're talking a long time away, but when I retire and I can just sit and build models, that is like the dream for me. I cannot wait for that. I'm hoping I still have the function of my hands and my eyesight, but again, you know,
respect. I hear you, brother. Yeah. Me too.
So I have something. I have a very rare thing in my loft. Like a lot of people have all these holy grails of kits and things. I have a. Do you know the Samurai 7?
Of course.
Anime. The Benny Gumos.
Yeah, I have the first like 2 or 3 volumes of it. I got way back when it was first being released. So yeah, love that stuff.
I have a resin cast Benny Gumo, which is like a 172 thing. Wow. The box is huge, but I'm planning to repaint it and do it up sometime. That's I can't wait to do that.
Yeah. Chris and I, now since we're kind of derivating a little bit here, Chris and I are going to be very soon building the MRSA Kshatriya.
Oh, wow.
100 scale Kshatriya, the MRSA cast. Resin. So
I never understand how that thing like stands with the thin puddly wing things.
With the gigantic binders?
Like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, here's just the guts of the
terminology
binder.
Is on point. Wow.
Yeah, just the guts of the binder. They're huge. So yeah.
You know you've got it bad when you've just shown me a piece of resin and I just thought, wow, the details look so good.
No, yeah.
This is like the equivalent to loads of people thirsting over Instagram and like scrolling through booty pics. Like if you just showed me that, I was like, wow, that looks great. Oh yeah.
That's why we're not going too deep into it. Yeah. Because it's sitting noodle details all day. I've got Luca's new Briegel, the new one, the legacy one. It's amazing.
I don't know when
I'm gonna fuck that thing up. My mind is already going a bunch of ways. Like it's gonna be fun. I look forward to it when I have the time. I don't have time yet, so
I'm sure he'll look forward to it too. I'm sure he absolutely.
Of course, yeah.
Get built up. Yeah. Black Lotus said we'll need 2 places, one place to live and one place to have the kids. Probably right. I sold a lot of my stuff recently, a lot of my Gunpla stuff. Like I said, it's not to get out of the hobby. I need to sell them because I've got things like this lying around now. Like Luca's, I mean, this isn't mine, but
right.
Luca's kits and other things.
Yeah. No.
I know. Rich is saying don't wait too long. Like I'm not waiting. I'm doing other things. Like I'll get back to it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, me too. I'm working on stuff, obviously, all the time. I showed this before on the model on the show, but I'm working on finishing up this Mirage right now. So trying to just pop the fucking Sidewinder off the bottom.
Oh no.
It doesn't matter. It's just a little bit of glue. That's okay.
It's good that you do so many different things.
Build it all, baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even talk. When was the last time I built anything?
That's whatever. That's just a matter of time. Just give it, Don't stress on it, right?
No, not at all. I'm excited to. I'm looking forward to it. Like my return to building mechs and stuff is going to be really fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said to you, I just have like a long-term goal for a lot of things at the minute.
Goals are excellent. Definitely have goals. Attain your goals, man. Like
in 10 years, when you guys are like, what have you been doing all this time? And then I finally show what I've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, wow, that's great. How long did it take? 10 years. It took me all my life. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's good. Like, I think that's a great...
The OMC is my way of staying connected with everybody, like all the wonderful people in the hobby, because I think it's fair to say that the community, from the forums back in the day until now and through all the different groups, it's what keeps everybody together, keeps the spark alive. I don't feel like if it weren't for the forums and stuff, I don't think I would have kept building. Like Gunpla and stuff. I don't know. Like, I know it sounds like weird, but having a community and feeling part of something is a big deal to me. I feel like, being able to share it and learn from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, I just felt like I wanted to be the best ever. Like, I want to be the best, like Ash Ketchum or something. And I'm going to win GBWC one day. And I think that's good. I think that's great. I think the motivation to be that way is good. But I've moved definitely a lot from there. I think, like, I'd really like to like if GBWC was in the UK, like I think it might be now. I think Simon entered online, so I think you might be able to enter online. But I just don't have the desire to take part.
It takes a lot of drive, especially with like even with our little microcosm of OMC and the creativity and the skill level of the various participants. GBWC has come a long way, baby. And the level of and participation within the event itself, it's so, and because it is so wide arcing now, and then of course you have, like you said, the UK can enter online. Here in America, you don't even have to be able to go to an event. You can just enter online, like Tim did, Child of Mecha did. And like he won and went to Japan on entering online. It's just like the way that it goes. But it is like it takes a lot of dedication to building, and with that kind of stuff, it's weird. It's like building for an IPMS or a specific contest, because you have to build in a way to cater to what the judges are going to go for. If you're trying to like, I'm going to go and win GBWC, you can't just be like, well, I'm going to build whatever I want, like I did, even though it was super high quality. Yeah, I won my local division, but as soon as that got in front of the Bandai guys, they were like, no, this one is gone. Yeah, and that's the Flea. Like it was like I did the Flea for OMC, and then I worked on it for another month and a half before it went to GBWC, and I added a bunch to it, and I did a bunch of extra stuff to it. But like, yeah, it was cool as fuck, and everybody loved it. But then as soon as it hit that thing, they were like, well, nobody is going to be able to look at that and be like Gundam. They're going to look at this one over here and like, that's a Gundam. Like, so that's
true.
And
I understand the motivation behind the judging and the criteria and things. Like it's not a shocker that they're going to want things to promote their brands and stuff. And the creativity for like GBWC is absolutely nuts. I think initially, like when I got into the hobby, I was like, it's the be all and end all.
Oh, I know, and it does get to be like in like the social thought bubble, it can kind of end up being that way, but it isn't. And that's kind of why I guess what I'm trying to preach here for everybody is that like you don't have to win GBWC to enjoy what you're doing, or to be good, or to be recognized as being good by your peers and whatever, like
absolutely. There's so many builders that don't enter competitions. This seems like it's going against the OMC. I was like, I'm just about to say that competitions aren't the be all and end all, and they're not. Like at the end of the day, build something and have fun and share it. And I mean, some people don't even share it. Just do whatever you enjoy. I think just with the competition for me, it's just nice to have a little bit of a competitive spirit and bring the best out of some people and push them a little bit harder than they normally would, and be able to give things away. Like we could change the OMC instead of a competition to being like a group event and just give prizes out to stuff. But eventually that would seem more like it's still going to be a competition because we're going to be giving prizes out to what's considered the best, I guess. I'm just rambling. I'm in a rambling mood.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I do need to go.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So thank you so much, and I appreciate. Julia, here we go.
Julia,
so we did debate this. We spoke about it. Me and Brian spoke about this, and we spoke about having like because me and Brian were teaming up this year. We thought about having people like enter as teams. More than one person. Like one person painting or building, the other person painting. Being a tag team. But yeah, it would be a bit difficult. We might try and introduce it. Maybe next year we could try a theme or something. I don't know. Me and Brian spoke about this, and we've beaten this to death. And we thought about so many different things about how we could change things and make it interesting. But believe me when I tell you, people still do not know what this competition is about and how to enter it, and how many questions I get daily about. So, what's the theme for the competition? And can I enter this goof
original
yesterday? No,
the theme is original Mecha. It's in the title.
I'm glad Peter's here. Actually, Peter. Yeah. Because I'm not a judge. I can say whatever I want because I can say I really like something. I love your entry so far, and I know it's still in its early days, but carry on building it because I love seeing it. And thank you for sharing things. I am passionate about stuff. I honestly, I am. I'm passionate about the competition, and I'm passionate about what people build and make and share. And Peter's build, I think, because I can see where it's going. I can see where it's going into the future, and I feel like when it's finished, people will be remiss if they don't go back and watch where it started and see it started as 2 pieces of a tank or something and a bit of styrene, and then it's rambly, preachy. Cam, that's me.
No, brother, it's great, and that's true. Sorry, I'm like getting caught up in the chat too.
I know. I feel like both of us are so tired.
Right. Oh yeah. No, I am. I'm fairly exhausted. But yeah, Peter, absolutely not about winning. And yes, thank you for sharing. And that's the thing about you. What you were saying, Cam, about you saying like, I can say something really nice, and that's cool. Like I am not a judge, so I can say that if I like or I don't like something. The thing is, I can't say that I have a favorite because I don't have a not favorite. I haven't not liked a single thing that I've seen coming out of the group this year. Yeah. That I think is way more valuable than me like picking like a prize pig or whatever out of the group, of builders or whatever. Sure. It's just like, everything has been fabulous, and there hasn't been a single thing that I started off the stream by, thanking the moderators and all that on the chat for taking care of, or not just the chat, but on the group for taking care of stuff and fielding those questions. And like Black Lotus joking around about letting the moderators take some of the questions, they field them all, like most of them. When it comes to like chat questions and stuff, it becomes a nice resource to have such a good community of people. I think the community, although it's not the busiest group, like some stuff gets put up, and I think they get like maybe 30 likes and maybe 1 comment or 2 comments. It's usually Richard and Mick that comment on them, and it gets to me a little bit because I think they deserve so much more recognition. But I guess that's just Facebook, and I guess it's just the way it is. I just don't want people to be demoralized. I don't feel like your build should be motivated by likes and comments, but I feel like some. You could spend like a week working on something, and I know personally when you've put a lot of effort in and you think, wow, this you hold it up and you think, wow, look at how cool it looks, and then you post it online and nobody gives a shit. Sometimes that's a little bit demoralizing. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But that's what I think. I wish I could give everybody 1 million likes and comments on everything they share, just to give them that boost, to reassure them that, you know, a lot of people. I suppose I won't ramble on, man, because you got to go. But yeah, it's the attention span. I think everybody's, you know, social media and instantaneous things. Like, everybody's scroll, and unless something's like the finished product, a pair of tits, or, you know, something really mind-blowing, nobody gives a shit. They'll just scroll straight past it, and I feel like you're missing out on so much. Like the thing with the pens, showing that the vents, I think that's great. What a cool idea. And
I agree.
that deserves to be pinned. Just because it's simple and it's good, and you don't need to go and buy a £12, I don't know how many dollars that is, pack
or whatever. Yeah, that stuff is hard to find nowadays, especially with the, you know, the influx of mecha modelers in the community. Bandai's been reducing their production a little bit too, so for you to be able to I have a whole drawer full of stuff, but like to not have that and not be able to get it. Like, you can go to any online retailer and just scroll through the lists and lists of things out of stock. It's kind of sad. But having that fresh approach and then sharing those ideas and then participating with those ideas in the community is how we all get better, and we don't have to rely on those Bandai overlords.
Absolutely. I'll let you go, my friend, if you need to leave.
Oh yeah, I know. And
I could talk for another like 3 hours of just rambling. People are going to be like, I thought this was the OMC stream. Just me rambling about shit for ages.
That's okay. It's all valuable, and that's the thing. It's about the participating in the conversation, being a part of the conversation, and then participating in the community, being part of the conversation. Yeah,
I just want people to know that, even though sometimes I might not comment, or I might not be around recently, I'm still watching things happen, and I'm still my mind's blown by everybody's effort, and it's I'm thankful for everybody who takes part, and I'm thankful for everybody who tunes into these live streams and puts up with me talking shit for 2 hours or so, or however long I've chimed in here, and people who contribute. It's wonderful. Without everybody's effort and, you know, willingness to take part and help the community grow, it wouldn't be anything. It just disappear. It'd just be another group, wouldn't it?
Right.
See, I'd be happy if the group didn't get any more members and it just stayed the way it is, and people just carried on building and having fun and keeping the vibes nice and positive. It doesn't have to be the biggest thing in the world, as long as it's just the right thing.
That's true. We're not looking for world domination exactly. We're just trying to have fun. And
if all we cared about was building the group into being massive, we'd just be spamming it full of posts daily. You know, like
ads or
no, just like, you know, ripping someone's work, throwing it on a post, getting that shared around. Like, that's just not necessarily difficult. But that's not what the group's about. The group's about watching people's journey in this competition.
Hell yeah. And growing, you know, growth. You're never too far along to learn something new. World domination is not an option.
It's not. It might be. Maybe I'll get that like as a division, like people selecting world domination as a division.
Oh man. Oh, it'll be like the team, or like the team builds division or whatever. Like, that could be a team builds. It would be
next
different.
year, if we can figure out how to do a team thing, we will do it. But I'm not sure how it would work.
There you go. That's homework for you guys out there listening to this or watching this like after the fact and watching it now. That's homework for you. Come up with creative ideas and then pitch them to us. And then we will take these. No, it's a community thing. Come on, we want to take credit. I've never wanted to take credit. If there's like we take all these ideas and we'll like put them in a hat. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's good. That's the way we figure these things out, is by having conversations with you guys, and then, you know, with ourselves, and then coming up with like something that's going to be beneficial. We don't want to add aspects to the competition or make it too crazy to make it, you know, more confusing or make it more difficult to judge or to participate in. So really the idea is just streamlining it all down so that it's very easy to interact with and very easy to participate in. So that's like, I think, a goal.
I mean, absolutely. That's it. We updated the website, so the front page is literally a step-by-step guide of how to enter. And again, still had people asking me, how do I take part?
I'm lucky that they all go to you, buddy. They don't.
Hey.
None of them come to me.
I know, and I'm very polite, and I will always answer questions that get asked. And I never sort of have an attitude or make someone feel like they should just go and do it. It's like the question that you get where they could have just either Googled it or read the flipping rules that are there on the website. But I'll always just say, hey, how are you doing? No worries. Just follow these 3 links or one link, or just read, step 1.
It'd be very easy, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and thank you, Jonathan, for joining me again. Thank you,
Hey,
Mike, for
I'm
coming
so
in.
sorry I was late.
No stress. Hey, Davey, we gotta be flexible.
So the things that are going to happen, I'll be really quick. Next couple of days, weeks, we're going to post, we are going to share prizes, update the prize lists that needs doing. We're going to share what's happening with Patreon, and we'll arrange another live stream and we'll get Luca on.
Exactly.
And I won't be late, and we'll have a nice schedule, and we'll try and get a lot of things. Yeah, it'll be great. More of the same and some other stuff that's even better. Thank you for holding it together, my friend. I appreciate it.
I'm barely doing a thing. My
You are.
pleasure to be a part of it, brother.
I love you very much. And,
Hey, man, love you too.
And thank you to everybody who's literally just put with me rambling for the fucking past 30 minutes. You guys are great.
Excellent. Yeah, and so again, just type real quick. I want to say join the Facebook group if you haven't already joined the Facebook group. If you're finding this through some weird YouTube algorithm, you can follow me on my pages. You can follow
Don't worry about
Cam.
me. No, just follow Brian.
Yeah, okay, follow me. No, check out the judges. Mike Link, Tom, Luca, obviously, and Francisco. No, Fred. No. Frederick
Dow.
Frederick Dow. Yeah, sorry. Too many F's in my head today. F in the chat. No, I'm joking. Thank you guys. Have a good night. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Thank you.
Bye.